I'm Christine Lisi. A day after his former Cavaliers teammate LeBron James became the NBA's all-time leading scorer, Kyrie Irving takes center stage tonight in Hollywood when he makes his Mavericks debut against the Clippers in L.A., 10 Eastern ESPN TV. In Irving, the Mavs have a star to play with Luka Doncic, and together they will form one of the NBA's most dynamic duos, believes ESPN NBA analyst Jalen Rose.
Both of these guys, guess what they make you do? Double team. And you can't double team both of them on the same play at the same time, which means they're going to be able to go one-on-one on a nightly basis, and it's going to be a nightmare for defenses. One of these guys is going to score 35 points every night.
Doncic tonight is out a third straight game with a bruised right heel. ESPN's Andrew Lopez reporting Pelicans forward Zion Williamson out through the All-Star break with an injured hamstring. At his annual Wednesday news conference before the Super Bowl, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said today NFL games will now be flexed on Monday Night Football next season, and there could be further flex scheduling on the horizon, even on Thursday nights.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Derek Carr visiting the Saints today.
Hump day.
Normally, we'd lead with that.
It's hump day.
But we're not.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LeBron breaks a 38-year-old record.
Hump day.
Could lead with that.
It's hump day.
We're not.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU basketball at Mississippi State.
Hump day.
Yeah, there's no way we would lead with that. No, right?
It's hump day.
No, Muse, no, we couldn't lead with that. That's
absolutely not.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's a Whiskey Wednesday.
Hump day.
Could lead with Bourbon Dictionary.
It's hump day.
But that's got its spot.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got overrated, underrated.
Hump day.
We got Pluckers trivia.
It's hump day.
We got transfer portal rankings.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got Aaron Rodgers going to live in a dark room somewhere in the world.
Hump day.
We got Tom Brady.
It's hump day.
Talking about his retirement.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got so much.
Hump day.
None of which, however, is leading today's show.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Because I, if nothing else,
Hump day.
am a man of my word.
It's hump day.
And on this very show,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I told our dear friend Todd Graffanini, the radio voice of the Pels,
Hump day.
that if I heard a certain phrase on a radio broadcast,
It's hump day.
it
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
would lead the show. And
Hump day.
I, dear listener,
It's hump day.
am a man of my word.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Give me grab!
Taken away by Nance. Just ripped it away from him to Jose. To Najee. Back to Jose. Left ankle three. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, my goodness. Give it to me again. I want it again. I want it again. I want it again.
Taken away by Nance. Just ripped it away from him to Jose. To Najee. Back to Jose. Left angle three. Yeah, you're right.
So good. How good is he?
Timeout, Nate McMillan.
How good is he?
It's got to be Graf's drop on the show now, right?
Gotta be.
I mean, anytime he comes on, we just hit it.
Blood curling. Yeah, you right.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah, you right. Todd Graffinini. Pels win yesterday to make it 3 in a row. They beat the Hawks in New Orleans. It was a home game, Muse, by the way. Don't screw that up again next time. How about that? Like, Muse, know where the game is going to be played, okay?
It's important.
I mean, be a pro in this thing, if you would. So we told the backstory there is Muse I guess you didn't know the phrase, yeah, you right? Was that an intrinsically New Orleans phrase?
It's more of that, like that it was just a New Orleans thing.
Yes.
Like your mom and them. That you know.
It's not them. Your mom and them.
And them, yeah.
Your mom and them.
But you get the point.
Yeah, you're right. To this
go.
day, my dad still screams, yeah, you're right. We're watching it anytime. Look, my dad's 69 years old, hasn't lived in New Orleans since 1989. But, when you live your first almost 40 years of your life in a place, it's hard to break some habits. And look, man, we're watching a game, and, Tigers score. Yeah, you're right. My dad said, yeah, you're right. Hit him, Muse. Yeah, you're right. Come on, Muse. Let's go. Oh, so good. So Muse didn't know that Yeah, You Right was a thing. I put Graf up to it to use it live in a broadcast, and I said, if you use Yeah, You Right in a broadcast, it is absolutely leading the show. So there you have it. Graf, again, with a Yeah, You're Right!
Yeah, you're right!
I love it so much. And by the way, there were 2 Yeah, You Rights in last night's broadcast. Pelicans win, by the way. Pelicans win their 3rd straight, which was exciting to see. They have purged the bad feelings of the 10-game losing streak. They beat the Lakers over the weekend. Of course, the Kings Sunday in a back-to-back without BI, without Jonas, beaten by 32. And then last night at home against the Hawks, a 116-107 win for New Orleans, which is super exciting. But my phone, the text line, and my Twitter blew up. But apparently there was a second Yeah, You're Right. Do you have the other one? Oh, you do. Oh, a boy, Muse. Okay.
You like that?
Not a boy.
Yeah, you're right.
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. Every now and again, Muse.
It's going to really suck if it's the wrong highlight.
That's really like a seeing eye single, but when you're used to swinging and missing, I'll take it.
It goes down as a liner in the scorebook.
Give me the bloop, bro.
Know.
Give me the bloop over the second
Texas
baseman.
Leaguer?
That's what I'm talking about there. The boy, Muse. Okay, so my phone blows. I was not listening to the game in the second quarter. I was watching. I was, however, listening to Graf in the third quarter with the call that we just heard, which was the Jose 3. It was a steal by Nance. Really a great play by Nance in the middle of the lane. Just used his length, sort of disrupted a passing lane. Outlet to Alvarado pass, back to Jose. Left wing 3 buckets. And I was listening to Graf at the time. And the text line of the show went, it's like he did it. So thank you all for following along. But this was the second quarter, Graf. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Muse. He swung and missed.
No.
Paulie, what are we going to do with our guy here? I mean, you know what? You compliment him for the seeing eye single, and then what does he do the next time up? 3 pitches, just whiff, 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 whiff. Do we have it or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to.
Ingram, hook pass, left corner. McCollum for 3. Yeah, you right.
No, see,
no,
yeah.
He had a little bit on it. They're like, yeah, you right.
He was setting it up, but the second one was better. The second one is, when I hear yeah, you right in my mind, when I think about my dad, my uncle, my grandfather, when I think about, sitting in the dome with Condon in the 600 section back in like 2007, 2008, with bringing Little C, Ryan Condon to the games for a lot of years. And I think of dudes yelling, yeah, you right, whenever Reggie Bush, returns the punt against the Minnesota Vikings. Was at a Monday Night Football. I think that was the game where Deuce tore his ACL. Anyway, this is what I hear.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I hear. I love it. Listen to the crowd, too. Play it again.
Yeah, you're right.
Bonkers. Smoothie King Center's back. People are feeling it again. I'm telling you, so much of that losing streak was just the weight of, man, when are they going to win again? And now you don't feel that anymore. You got 3 in a row, couple days off now. Friday, you play the Cavs at the Smoothie King Center. Place is going to be bonkers again. And that's exciting, man. It's exciting, that they've got this little bit of momentum going into the All-Star break. Remember, a week ago, they were in the 4 seed. They dropped all the way to 11. They were outside of the play-in. Now 3 straight wins, and they're back up to the 8 seed. So you are very squarely staring, a half a game behind Dallas to be in the 6 seed, which of course you're outside of the play-in, right? You're in, and you are a game and a half from the Clippers, which are in 4th place right now, and obviously, if you're a top 4 seed, you got home court advantage in a first round game. So, how quickly your fortunes can turn. It's a log jam in the West, and there's still a good ways to go. But man, it was fun to watch last night. Thank you to Graf. Awesome. Graf's awesome. We love him here, and he is a, what do they say? He must be protected. He's a national treasure.
Yeah, protected at all costs.
He must be protected at all costs. When did that start, by the way?
Good question.
He's a treasure. He must be protected. Protect Todd Graffinini at all costs. Okay, it's after further review. Now we will get to the thing that would have actually normally led the show, and that is that Derek Carr is visiting the New Orleans Saints today, and I fear the New Orleans Saints are on the cusp of complete and total disaster if this transpires, as it appears it might. We'll get to that next.
AFR.
Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Okay, a couple of things to remind you about. Remember, Super Bowl is this Sunday. Everybody eats wings in the Super Bowl. You can place your Pluckers orders now, okay? You can go to the website, pluckers.com, select either Bluebonnet or Nicholson, whichever location. You can place your Super Bowl orders now, or you can call in and place it either way. So if you're having gobs of people over, you want 200 wings, and you want to pick it up at 4 o'clock, just tell them what time you want to pick it up, and they'll have it ready for you. You can place that order now. Like, don't wait till Super Bowl Sunday, call them at 4 o'clock and say, I want 1,000 wings. That ain't going to fly. Fly, Pluckers, wings, get it? Wings fly. That was a pun is what that was, and I do love a pun. That was unintentional, but I'd never turn down a pun. Super Bowl Sunday, and then remember, of course, Wednesday, tonight, every Wednesday, trivia, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Eat wings, drink beer, watch sports, play trivia. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bourbon Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Start your day with news and newsmakers.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A huge miss, Muse. Not coming out with Bedrock. I mean, I don't know why, but I was singing Bedrock in the break.
I thought of that as I was potting up that bump. I was like, you know what I should have done? Bedrock by Young Money.
But you went and swung at the breaking ball in the dirt, Muse.
Yeah, you know.
Swing and miss again.
1 for 3 ain't bad. You're a Hall of Famer, so.
Oh, we're only in the second segment of the show, friend. We got plenty of time to get that average down.
We're just putting up runs then here. If we only got a second segment, we're at 3 at bats.
Derek Johnson tweeted, what I want to know, Matt, is when you're going to start talking about the BYU football game. So of course, you can watch us on WBTR. And we appreciate very much our friends at WBRZ for carrying it. So people ask often when we're going to be able to watch your show again. You can always watch on YouTube, on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube. But if you're in Baton Rouge at WBTR, it's Cable 19, Rev 144, or if you're a cord cutter, 36.1. It's funny, there's the details. I don't know why this is, but the details on the screen say Dave McMahon, David Nixon, and Blaine Fowler analyze every angle of the latest BYU football game. That's not us. But anyway, that first aired September 1st, 2014. Weird how that one got dug up. But anyway, but of course you can watch us on WBTR. We appreciate everyone for watching. Thanks to Derek who tweeted that video that he's watching. All right, it's after further review. Clearly, one of the biggest, if not the biggest question the Saints will have this offseason is who's going to play quarterback in 2023 and beyond. Jameis Winston most certainly will not be back. They're not going to pay him the cash sum that they would owe him in salary if he were on the roster. He's going to be cut. Andy Dalton is a free agent. They could certainly re-sign Andy Dalton. We'll see how that may transpire. But the Saints will also no doubt kick the tires on free agents around the league and what other players might be available, and then pursue draft options as well. We learned last week that Derek Carr, it's pretty certain we learned before the end of the regular season, that Derek Carr was not going to be back in Las Vegas. The Raiders are going to move on. The problem with Derek Carr is he's got this massive contract that many would view as untradeable. And that is what Mike Garafolo talked about on Good Morning Football earlier this week.
Right now, sources continue to say that Carr does not have permission to speak to other teams. Now, theoretically, he would if the Raiders agreed to compensation with the team, but that has not occurred to this point. So Carr has about 9 days to go. It's February 15th before there is a trigger of a $40 million guarantee. The thought is that the Raiders, if they don't have a trade partner by then, would release Carr. He'd become a free agent, and as he put it over the weekend, would be able to, quote, speak to all of my friends, which would mean he'd be able to talk to every team. So until and unless the Raiders give him permission, Jamie, to speak to another team, it appears that a trade before that February 15th deadline appears to be a low percentage possibility.
Okay, so that was Monday. How much has changed in 48 hours? Again, on Tuesday evening, we learned from Nick Underhill of NewOrleans.football that Carr was going to make a visit to New Orleans, and Carr is in New Orleans today visiting with the New Orleans Saints. As you heard Garafolo report that Carr was not going to be allowed to make visits, because remember, he's still under contract with the Raiders. He was not going to be allowed by the Raiders to make visits unless the team he was visiting had agreed to trade compensation. So Ian Rappaport picks up there. Ian Rappaport, guest on the Pat McAfee show today, spelled it out. Saints appear to be the front runners right now.
First of all, I do not believe a trade has been agreed to. My understanding of the situation is he was only going to be allowed to speak or visit, like he's on a visit right now, actually, in New Orleans, if a team was willing to give the compensation that it would take to do a trade. So I don't think they're like, all right, we're good, but it's like, all right, I would do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're in the ballpark. No. I'm just telling you guys. It's not like, all right, I know the pick. Here's what it is. It's like, well, yeah, this is kind of the range, but might the pick change? Like, let's say he does adjust his contract, right? Let's say he goes to New Orleans and decides, all right, well, I'll actually take this. Maybe the pick is worth something different. Maybe the Raiders go, actually, we could pay this, and then the pick. So, like, I'm not saying it's agreed to, but obviously the Saints are the front runner for Derek Carr.
Got it.
That is real.
So, Saints front runner for Derek Carr, that would make sense because he's visiting. So there would have had to at least been some conversation about draft capital. I'm just setting the stage here, and I'm going to circle back and I'm going to give you my opinion because I think the Saints are teetering on a debilitating decision if they go down this path. We'll get to that in a second. But Rappaport lays out the path for the Saints to make a trade for Derek Carr. Remember, if the Raiders cut Derek Carr, he's a free agent. He can sign anywhere he wants. If you are the Saints and you want to make sure that he doesn't sign anywhere else, you trade for him. Now, he has no trade clause, but he presumably here would be open to a trade to New Orleans because he's making this visit. Why else would he fly here and take this visit if he wasn't at least open to the possibility? So here's Rappaport on the path for the Saints to trade for Carr.
So there is an opportunity here to lock in the money and for the Saints to be like, we have a guy. That's why this is kind of there's a push-pull on both sides.
But they had to have an agreement with the Raiders. Like, if we end up not having to pay the money, you'll be able to give us lower mid. If you do, we'll give you this. Like, they had to have that conversation. Pretty much foregone conclusion. If the Saints and Derek Carr's people are able to figure out the contract,
trade will happen.
Trade will happen.
Yes.
Okay. If they can figure out the money, now let's go there. What could stop a deal between the Saints and the Raiders for Derek Carr?
It is a place that would make a ton of sense for him. And Dennis Allen's there, was his head coach in Oakland. And the relationship has been good. And they are speaking today. They've had communication. Like, it's all good. The question, though, is this. Let's say Derek Carr agrees to a trade with the Saints today. He gets his contract, he gets his guaranteed money. If he says, you know what, cool, but I don't want to weaken the team that I'm going to by them giving up a pick. I'm just going to sign with them in free agency. What if the Saints go, yeah, we're just going to go get someone else, or we're going to wait for someone else, or he doesn't get the money that would be available now because the Saints would be willing to pay him more, and they're like, well, if we can't lock you in, we're just going to open it up to everyone.
Okay. Let's unpack this a little bit. So Rappaport laid it all out there. Essentially, whenever later this month, Carr's contract becomes guaranteed. The Raiders are not going to let that happen. They're not going to owe Derek Carr on February 15th $40.4 million. They are either going to trade him before that date, or if they can't find a trade partner, they're going to cut him. They're going to cut him, and they'll absorb dead money on the deal, which is far less than that $40.5 million. So if they cut him, they'll take on $5.6 million in a salary cap hit, but they'll free up nearly $30 million. Again, so that's the options for the Raiders. Find a trading partner. If you don't, you cut him. So if you're a team like the Saints, you have two options. You say, we could trade for him and guarantee he comes here, or wait for the Raiders to cut him and then sign him to a lesser deal. Now, part of what Rappaport said there is true. Maybe the Saints work out some deal with the Raiders to restructure Carr's contract. If Carr agrees to a reworked deal, maybe the Raiders take on more money of it. It lessens the cap blow for the Saints. Maybe they extend him, spread the money out over years, which we've seen. I guess my point is they can make it work. But the Saints are already $55 million over the 2023 salary cap. They are going to have to do the thing, again, they do every year, which is rework deals, take salary and convert it to a signing bonus and spread that bonus out over years and take on, phantom years on the back end of a contract to spread the money out. And you have dudes on the books that aren't even playing for a half decade. But that's how the Saints have gotten into this mess. And I want to reiterate, I was okay with that strategy when they were pushing to win a Super Bowl with Drew Brees and Sean Payton. And you felt like any given year you could break through. And if you had broken through and won a Super Bowl, none of us would care because you'd have the Lombardi. It didn't work out. So now you're saddled with all this debt and a lot of wins to show for it, but no championships. The question you have to ask yourself if you're the New Orleans Saints is, does Derek Carr put you over the top? Are you a Super Bowl contending team with Derek Carr? As you are today, are you a Super Bowl contending team with Derek Carr? And if you believe that Derek Carr coming to New Orleans makes this team from a 7-10 football team to an 11, 12, 13 win team that's pushing to win the NFC and going to the Super Bowl, I think you're high. Because 32-year-old Derek Carr is a better option than 35-year-old Andy Dalton. Make no mistake of it. 32-year-old Derek Carr, which is what he is today, is a better option than 35-year-old Andy Dalton. But I've heard too much of, hey, Derek Carr in a different spot could be like Drew Brees when he came to the Saints. No. 2006 Drew Brees was 25 years old. He was entering his prime. Yes, he had the shoulder injury, but everything else with Drew Brees was you had a decade. You knew if the shoulder was right, and they were confident it was, you had a decade. You ended up having 16 years. But you had a decade with him. He was 25. Carr's been in the league for 9 years. Derek Carr today is more like what Andy Dalton was 3 years ago when Cincinnati kicked him to the curb. Let me spell this out for you. Andy Dalton's last year in Cincinnati was 2019. I don't want to bore you with a lot of numbers, so you don't have to memorize this. There's not a test. Just understand the comparison between the two. Andy Dalton in 2019, as a 32-year-old, Derek Carr, basically the same point in their career, 9 years in. He threw for 3,494 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 14 picks. That was his last year in Cincy. So basically, he was 6 yards short of 3,500. 16 touchdowns, 14 picks. Derek Carr this year in Las Vegas, 35-22. So he threw for, I'm so bad at math. He threw for 28 more yards. Derek Carr this year threw for 28 more yards than Andy Dalton did his last year in Cincinnati. He threw for 24 touchdowns, which is 8 more touchdowns, but 14 interceptions, the exact same number of picks. Derek Carr today is Andy Dalton when he was his last year in Cincinnati. He's a guy in his 30s who's past his prime. He's still a top 15, maybe top inside of that 10 to 15 range quarterback in the NFL. No one's going to mistake him for Burrow or Allen or Mahomes or Herbert or Jalen Hurts. Like, he's not elite. He's not in the upper tier. He's a top half of the quarterbacks in the NFL type guy. But you're not winning a Super Bowl with Derek Carr and this Saints team. You're not. Like, convince me otherwise. Your defensive line took a gigantic step back. You've got aging safeties right now as well. I think you're going to be good at cornerback. You're about to have an offensive line shuffle. Andrews Pete's going to be a cap casualty. What do you do with Eric McCoy? We're about to find out. James Hurst isn't your franchise left tackle. Where does Trevor Pennick fit? We're going to find out. You are a disaster at running back right now to where in the end of the season, you're giving carries to Eno Benjamin and David Johnson. Alvin Kamara very well could miss time next year because of the incident in Las Vegas. And you're trying, and by the way, Michael Thomas is about to be gone. You're probably not going to re-sign Jarvis Landry. You mean to tell me that Derek Carr and this Saints team are going to the Super Bowl? You're insane. You are insane. And what's more, if you trade for Derek Carr, you are giving up assets. You are going to have to give the Raiders draft capital. Maybe it's a day 3 pick. I don't know. Maybe it's like a 6th rounder. I don't care. To give the Raiders anything for Derek Carr, for the right to take on that contract of a 32-year-old is insane. There is no justification for it. But if you're Dennis Allen right now, you're getting the 2014 Raiders band back together. You're bringing back your old DC. You're bringing back your old secondaries coach, the quarterback you drafted back in 2014, who's now at the end of his career. This doesn't make any sense. It further solidifies in my mind. If the Saints do this, and again, the Raiders would not have allowed Derek Carr to come on a visit if they were not confident the Saints would be willing to execute a trade for Derek Carr. But if the Saints make a trade for Derek Carr and give assets to the Raiders for a 32-year-old quarterback that's past his prime, and they're willing to take on that contract, this would be the worst decision the New Orleans Saints have made since Mike Ditka traded an entire draft, plus a one next year, the following year, for Ricky Williams. It would be the worst decision, and there's been a lot of them. There have been a lot of bad decisions. But considering where you are as a franchise, where you are against the cap, what you need to improve, if you take on that contract for an aging player and give up assets to do it, it would be the worst decision the New Orleans Saints will have made since the Ricky Williams trade. God help you all if the Saints trade for Derek Carr. Because if they trade for Derek Carr, I'm going to do the whole red face, high pitch, scream and squeal and rant thing that some of you think is funny and some of you hate. So maybe some of you will love it. Paulie, get the thumbnail ready for YouTube. Smoke coming out of my ears, flames coming off my head. We'll see whatever creative route Paulie goes next. Subscribe up to the AFR YouTube channels, by the way. All right. It's after further review. Holy moly, help us with that. Oh, holy moly, help us. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC next. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every single day, buy local and shop local. Clegg's, great local business. Been in business for more than 60 years. 60. That's Clegg's Nursery. Look, we're moving towards spring, y'all. I mean, 77 degrees was the high today. And look, you know we're going to get some cold snaps. We always do as we move through the month of February and March around here. But for the most part, winter is behind us, and we're looking forward to spring. Maybe you have weeds popping up in your lawn. The weed-killing cocktail, ask about it at Clegg's Nursery. They'll help you out. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. And remember, Clegg's is partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So anything you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local for more than 60 years. Be sure to tell them that Matt sent you in when you go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus 2-time PBR World Champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
This February, 104.5 ESPN and Citizens Bank and Trust are here to offer you a holiday rebate to the tune of a $2,000 cash prize. We'll also be selecting a local prize winner to receive $1,000 cash. Sign up now at 1045ESPN.com.
I'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor Calandro here in about 50 minutes. By the way, we announced this earlier, and I am really, really excited about this. So next week is the opener at the Box, a week from Friday. And we are going to be at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. I've been telling you about this. And the folks over there did an awesome job putting this event together. So the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet. They're going to have two big projection screens or projector screens. Projections? Big screens.
Projector screens, I think.
Big screens projecting the game on it.
Yes.
One inside, one outside. Rally Cap Brewery will be there with free beer samples. Calandro's will be there with free whiskey samples of some, I don't know what they are yet, but they're supposed to be allocated whiskey samples. So they're calling it Bourbon, Beer, Burgers, Baseball. It's a free event. Just come hang out. Now, you can buy your dinner there, obviously. You can buy drinks at the bar. But we basically just want everybody to come experience Tallulah inside the Renaissance. So as soon as the show ends next Friday, I'm jetting out to Tallulah, going to watch the LSU baseball opener there. Come join us again. Free event, bourbon, beers, burgers, baseball. We'll see you there a week from Friday at the Renaissance. Okay, it's After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Tennessee Volunteers.
Josh Heupel has added a former Vol to his staff. Remember Robert Ayers, really good defensive player for the Vols. He's been a high school coach in the Knoxville area for the last 3 years. Played for the Vols from 2005 to 2008. He's been added as a defensive graduate assistant. Ayers was a first-round pick by the Broncos in 2009. Played 9 seasons for 3 different teams. He's now back on Rocky Top.
The Florida Gators.
Alex Fudge, of course, the former LSU forward who transferred to Florida this offseason. He's still looking to return to his prior form before his concussion that he suffered back on January 21st in the win at Mississippi State. He's been eased back into action after his injury, but Todd Golden acknowledged Tuesday that Fudge, while he was cleared to compete, probably returned too quickly. Big one tonight in Tuscaloosa against Alabama for the Florida Gators. Let's run through the scores across the SEC from last night in men's basketball. Texas A&M held serve at home 83-76 against Auburn. A&M 17-7 on the season now, continues to impress and to surprise many. Ole Miss went on the road and beat Georgia. They moved to 2-9 in the SEC. 78-74 was your final at Stegman Coliseum. Missouri held off a pesky South Carolina squad, 83-74. That was in Como. And how about Arkansas? Check it, man. Musselman's squad is on the come right now. Arkansas went to Rupp Arena and put it on Kentucky, 88-73. Tonight, across the league, of course, LSU is at the hump to take on Mississippi State. 6th-ranked Tennessee is in Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. They stink. And as we mentioned, Florida is in Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama at Coleman Coliseum. The Crimson Tide are a 9.5-point favorite in that one. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Check out their interactive whiteboards. So many people have begun working remotely because of COVID. If you want to stay connected with your employees working remotely, maybe clients anywhere in the country, interactive whiteboards could be the solution. Check them out at gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, we're glad to have you aboard with us here. Taylor Calandro Bourbon Dictionary coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to follow this story. We talked about Derek Carr in the last segment and how he's visiting the New Orleans Saints today. Maybe the biggest, I don't want to call it a free agent because he's not a free agent yet, but the biggest fish in the quarterback pond this year is going to be Aaron Rodgers. There's always the possibility he could retire, he could return to Green Bay, he could play elsewhere. Aaron Rodgers was a guest on the Pat McAfee show and talked about his future.
I think it's going to be important to get through this week, and then to take my my isolation retreat, and just to be able to contemplate all things my future, and then make a decision that I feel like is best for me moving forward, and in the highest interest of my happiness, and then move forward.
An isolation retreat. Is an isolation retreat like a silent retreat? Do we know any details of this isolation retreat?
I don't.
I've heard it called. So on Pat McAfee's show, he says he's going to 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat. What does that mean? Like, I've heard of men going like to Manresa. Like my dad, my brother have gone to Manresa, which is, it's a silent retreat. You don't talk like for the weekend. Maybe you get there like on a Friday, you leave on a Sunday, you don't talk while you're there. Probably not the best thing for me. I talk for a living. It's hard for me to shut up. But I actually, I say that. Do you think you could do it? Do you think you could go on a 4-day, 4-night darkness retreat or isolation retreat or a silent retreat? Could you do it?
No, I don't think I could.
Paulie, do you think you could? Paulie could. Absolutely.
Not without saying a word.
That's Paul's life. Paul lives in a silent retreat, right, Paul? Well, you're just not retreated.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay. I actually think I could. Now that I think about it. Like when I leave here, this is odd. When I leave here, I drive home in silence. I don't turn on the radio. I call Erica when I walk out the building just to let her know I'm driving home. And then that's it. And then I get home, and as soon as I walk in the door, Erica's like, that's how she talks. But she just wants to tell me all about her day, and I'm like, so there's times I have to be like, hey, give me 10 minutes. I just need silence. Like, I think I could just retreat into silence.
I mean, I talk to myself a lot. I mean, y'all know that. So I'd even do that. Like, I don't think I could do that.
I didn't know you talked to yourself.
What? How did you not know that?
Well, we sit in this room every day, but you're not talking to yourself in this room.
I talk to myself in this room all the time.
He does it all the time.
Oh, I don't hear. Maybe it's headphones. Really?
Maybe.
He does it all. What does he say, Paulie? Is he giving himself a pep talk?
Sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, Muse. You're going to break out of this 0-for-16.
This over.
All right. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers going to get no judgment here, man. Do you? I know a lot of people are going to make fun of him for it, but if that's what he does to get centered and to get his mind cleared, right? Go ahead, man. Stresses of an NFL season, being in it for 20 weeks, man. Go do you. And actually longer than that because you got training camp. So go do you, man. Enjoy that silence if that's what it takes. All right. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper to bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them. They're at ShawBillsTire.com. Home of the Charlie's Dozen. A dozen benefits extended to your vehicle and every vehicle in your family when you buy tires at Shawbills. At ShawBillsTire.com. You can go to the website, hit the promotions tab at the top. You see all their great dealer specials. They'll a lot of times combine manufacturer's offer with their in-house offers to get you the best deal possible. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, let's talk booze. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro next.
AFR.
I'm Sylvia Weatherspoon in the WBRZ studios. Here is a preview of what we're working on for News 2 tonight. The Metro Council is investigating how much damage law enforcement has caused when they execute warrants at private homes. We speak to one woman whose house was ransacked despite the person officers were looking for not being there. Plus, an unwelcome error on a welcome sign is causing one town a lot of headaches. We'll show you why. That much more tonight on WBRZ News 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Taylor Calandro joins us from Calandro's. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. Do y'all really not know, what Aaron Rodgers is doing?
No, I really don't.
That dude's going to drink ayahuasca somewhere in the woods.
What he's drinking? What?
Ayahuasca.
What is that?
It's like a hallucinogenic. I don't even know how to spell it, but ayahuasca retreat.
Oh, okay. Well, no judgment here.
No, it's like a psychedelic situation.
Yeah. Ayahuasca. The AYAHUASCA. There it is. Wait. He said. Wait. He says the darkness retreat does not include the use of ayahuasca.
Okay.
Quote, I'm just sitting in isolation, meditating, dealing with your thoughts. It stimulates DMT, so there can be some hallucinations in there, but it's just kind of sitting in silence, which most of us never do. We rarely even turn off our phone or put the blinds down to sleep in darkness. I'm really looking forward to it, end quote.
Hey, man, that's awesome. I just didn't know if you all were aware of that situation.
Hey,
But whatever.
I've bought 30 pair of sneakers since Christmas. Who am I to judge anybody for what they choose to do with their time or money? You know what I mean?
I'm jelly, man. Yeah.
By the way, before you get in trouble, shout out your bride.
Oh, happy birthday to my wife. Yes, it is my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Hannah. The mother of my 2 children.
What would you do without her? I mean, she rolls through here when we do the whiskey raffle, and she runs things. You know what I mean? Like, she's charting every winner, making sure, like, everything stays on track while we all just drink whiskey and stuff. I mean,
yeah,
big shout out, Hannah.
She gets the raw end of the deal. She works very hard, and she deserves to relax today. So I'm going to try to make that happen for her.
Oh, man. All right, Taylor's with us here every Wednesday on Whiskey Wednesday, answers your booze questions. So fire away, email us, tweet us, jump in the Buy Ford YouTube chat, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. What's new right now?
We got we got a little bit of old Carter batch 14 bourbon about an hour before I left today. So it's $220.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but it's there. It's very hard to get as well. And one of our distributors found 4 cases of a Knob Creek bourbon pick that we did 2 years ago. It's a 10-year-old. And those are sitting on the shelf right now, too. We just got those.
Is that the blue Calandro's label on it?
No, this one was just a standard. It was bottled in 2021, and it was put down in 2011.
Hey, man.
So it was 2021. It's a couple years old.
I had recently a Knob Creek barrel pick that you all did. And, this was literally like 2 Fridays ago. We were at a gathering with some friends, and I brought it. And it didn't last the night. It was gone. Not just me, all right? It wasn't just me, but it is gone. It's gone.
If I could look back through there's a lot of things I whiffed on in the bourbon world, but those old Knob Creek picks that used to just sit on the shelves for like $40, they were 15 years old. They are unbelievable. It's just so hard to think. There's a lot of hard things to think about in the whiskey world. That makes me sick that I should have done, but that's one of them.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some questions. Fire away. Jamie Perk said, good evening, Matt. Ask Taylor his and or your thoughts on David Nicholson Reserve Bourbon. Any thoughts?
I think it's good. It's fairly low price. I can't remember how much it is, but it's like $30, $40 range. It's good. It's a Luxco brand. It's fine for the price.
Trent Ritchie said, ask Taylor favorite bourbon to make an old-fashioned.
I prefer rye. If I'm going to make an old-fashioned with bourbon, I would probably use like a Bullet or something like that.
Why? Any reason in particular?
Something fairly inexpensive. If you want to go the inexpensive route, you can literally mix any whiskey in an old-fashioned. You want to. I think Bullet or Elijah Craig, something like that, is very serviceable for an old-fashioned.
I agree with you completely. And by the way, I am 100% on board about old-fashions being made with rye whiskey. Rye is what was intended to be used when the old-fashioned was first created as a craft cocktail. So,
and the reason for that is I think that rye has a spicy characteristic that adds a little more to an old-fashioned than, say, just a straight bourbon would. And that's not a blanket statement, but just for the sake of saying it, rye, I think, is generally better in an old-fashioned.
Completely agree. It's your blend of sweet and spicy. That's
just
a good way to put it.
Yeah, and that's just my opinion.
Chris Burke said, hey, I picked up a bottle of chicken cock while I was down at the beach at Floribama. Did not care for it. He said, I did not care for it. What were your thoughts?
Didn't care for the chicken cock.
He does not like the taste of chicken cock.
You know how we feel about chicken cock.
No, I don't actually.
We love it. The bourbon's great.
I've never had chicken cock.
The bourbon is great.
So ridiculous.
The bourbon's great. The rye's good. For a $60 bottle, I think it's good for a $60 bottle. I tried the Island Rooster, which is the rye finished in rum barrels. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very good too. It's a $200 bottle, but I also thought it was very good. It's not as sweet as the Angel's Envy rye, that is also finishing run barrels, but you do get a little bit of that ride characteristic.
He is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Just about where I got like 10 seconds, so I'm short on time. We'll talk next week, and I'm looking forward to the event at Tallulah. We'll tell them all about it next week.
Happy birthday, babe.
See ya. Hour 2 next.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience.
When you get by South Point Volkswagen, so many people do their car shopping online. A lot, like it used to be that you just go car dealership hopping, right? You'd haggle for the best price, no more. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen, so because they move more inventory, they can give you the best price, and they got the best selection as well. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. You know where to find them at Airline just north of Highland. Remember, in Lafayette, they got Southwest Volkswagen as well, so Baton Rouge and Lafayette locations. It's South Point Volkswagen. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
I don't have commercial spots right now.
Okay, then you know what we're going to do? We're going to chug along through. So something going on with the automation. No worries. I probably could have just brought Taylor back then in that instance. We could have kept answering questions. So the as a matter of fact, Muse, before we hit, do me a favor, please call Taylor right back, because I do want to get him, if he has it, I want to let our listeners know what allocated whiskeys he's going to be bringing to Tallulah for Take Me Out to Tallulah is what they're calling. Of course, Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel, great new sponsor here on AFR. The Renaissance and the Watermark are sponsors. Tallulah is inside the Renaissance. And next week is opening night of the LSU baseball season, a week from Friday. And so we're trying to introduce a lot of people to Tallulah. So we're inviting you to come on out for a game watch party. It's that simple. A big projector screens up. If you're not going to the box, come hang out with us. I'll be there. They'll have discounted food. They'll have, tons of great stuff. They're calling it bourbon, beer, burgers, and baseball. So again, it's a free event, but buy your dinner, buy your drinks, all that sort of stuff. But they will have free beer samples from Rally Cap and bourbon samples from Calandro's. All right, so wait, Taylor's back. Sorry, we're having a little issue with the automation, so we actually didn't have to run really quickly. Next week for the event at Tallulah, do you have any idea yet what you guys are doing?
No, I talked to Nathaniel. I think his name's Nathaniel.
Yeah.
But I have not decided what we're doing yet. So
is it?
We're going to be pouring a few rare whiskeys for sure. I just don't know what they are going to be yet.
Okay. So. Well, whenever you know what they're going to be, let us know. We'll pass it along. But safe to say, we'll be pouring free samples of some allocated stuff a week from Friday.
Yes, I'm going to be digging into my collection, I do believe so.
Oh, really?
We'll see. Yeah, just stay tuned.
What does that mean? Have I ever had anything from your collection?
Probably not. Why would you?
We're friends, and sometimes you're generous. I mean, I'm generous. Every time I ever get a bottle, I'd give you a sample of it. Always.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, I guess I should reciprocate.
See? I brought you a whole bag of samples the last time I was over at the store. I brought you like 5 things.
That's true. You did.
I know.
Oh, man. I guess I'll change my ways one day. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, thank you for jumping back on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, but yes, I will have more information on that in the next day or so.
Okay, sounds good. We appreciate it, Taylor. Thanks, man.
All right, Matt.
All right, that's Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. We appreciate it. We can hit SportsCenter?
We can hit SportsCenter. I don't have a show open, though, for you after SportsCenter.
Okay.
But we can hit SportsCenter.
All right. We're going to step aside for 90 seconds so you can get national headlines from SportsCenter that we're coming just right back, right in cold from the break. And I do want to talk a little bit about LeBron breaking the NBA scoring record, which happened last night. I was watching. Were you watching? We'll talk about that. We'll get some of your calls, texts, emails, tweets. Stick around. Hour 2 of AFR is coming up in 90 seconds. Don't move.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A couple of days after his trade from Brooklyn, guard Kyrie Irving will make his Dallas debut against the Clippers tonight, 10 Eastern, ESPN TV. We'll have to wait a bit, though, to see Irving play alongside fellow star Dallas point guard Luka Doncic. He'll miss a 3rd straight game with a right heel contusion. When Doncic and Irving do get on the court together, they will put on quite a show, believes former Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski.
I'm excited to see how talent makes talent better. You have two amazing guys who can pass that ball. Doncic is a great passer in addition to being a scorer. He's just had to play that way with the Mavericks. Kyrie can play off the ball, too. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA. It'll be really exciting basketball.
Mike Krzyzewski on Keyshawn, J-Will, and Max. Officiating among the topics discussed by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell at his annual Wednesday news conference before the Super Bowl. He said he thinks officiating has never been better in the NFL, adding that officials do an extraordinary job. He also said the league, though, will always look into how it can improve the officiating.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time your car breaks down, don't call it quits. Head to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
It's a Hump Day Miracle. Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Derek Carr visiting the Saints today. We touched on that last hour. We'll get you any updates from that visit if we have them here in the next 2 hours while we're here. There are also some updated transfer portal rankings we'll get to in about an hour. And it makes a little sense, right? So now with last week's, like the February signing date passing, while guys in the portal, the portal window is closed, but any player that had entered the transfer portal can commit, sign, enroll at whatever institution that they want at any point. So they've updated a lot of those transfer portal rankings. So I want to get to that in the next hour. We'll talk a little bit about some of it's subjective, but clearly. But I want to talk about what it may be mean for LSU, some of their opponents, all that stuff moving forward as well. So we'll get into all that coming up here as well. All right, it's after further review. Last night, watched the Pels win, which was awesome. If you missed the Open today, we did as we said we would. Can we play this again? We did as we said we would in the show Open today. Graf obliged and gave us a yeah, you're right.
Taken away by Nance. Just ripped it away from him to Jose. To Najee. Back to Jose. Left angle 3. Yeah, you're right.
It's so good. So we opened, as we said we would, talking about Graf. And look, the Pels have now won 3 in a row, which is great. And then I kind of got Drew ready for bed. It was an early game, 6:30 tip, so it was over early. And put Drew in bed, and then I was kind of, brushing my teeth, took a shower, kind of getting ready for bed, whatever. And I was scrolling on Twitter, and I pulled up the Lakers OKC box score because I knew LeBron needed 36 to break the record. And it was in the third quarter, and he had 25 points, like 8 minutes to go in the third. And he had 25 points. I'm like, oh, he's going to do this tonight. So I turned on the TV, and I watched the remainder of the third quarter because that's when this happened.
They can't get the last one, but LeBron has it 15 feet away from the goal. LeBron for the record. He's got it. He's done it. LeBron James is now the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA. The king wears the crown.
And you can see the relief on his face.
You can see the relief.
It's interesting if you're watching it live. LeBron, I mean, he obviously knew, right? I mean, he knew the whole time as they were going through how many points he needed. There was on TNT, there was the countdown, the ticker on the top right where they were, the points to break the record. So they were counting down with it as it was going along. I realized, by the way, LeBron also donned the headband last night. Did he talk at all about why he put the headband? I didn't see any of the post-game stuff.
I didn't see anything about it, no.
I don't know why he chose to do that. I wish he would have never stopped. The headband was an iconic thing, and I remember the game. It was an NBA Finals game in Miami when he was playing for the Heat. Maybe this had to be 2014. It was the 2014 Finals because it's when we were living in Houston when we were in the hospital. I remember watching it, and unless I got the years mixed up, but I'm almost positive. And if I remember correctly, he kind of got hit on the head, and it knocked the headband down, and so he just took it off and slung it, and just never went back to it. So it was kind of crazy because it was such an iconic thing. I mean, LeBron wearing the headband was sort of his trademark accessory. So it was odd that everyone went away from it, but it was cool to see him wear it again last night. Felt like a little bit of a throwback, and I was glad that he rocked it. But the game itself, and watching LeBron do it, I say this all the time, y'all, and I really mean it. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world. It's for a lot of reasons. I think people don't like LeBron, and there are some absolute truths. He entered the league at 18 years old with an unrivaled amount of pressure. That's not even debatable. I mean, he was, he adorned ESPN the magazine with the title The Chosen One. At 18, everybody knew that this was the guy that was supposed to be the torchbearer for the NBA. And here we are 20 years later, and he's won 4 championships, and he's the NBA's all-time scoring leader, and he's certainly in the conversation of the greatest basketball players to ever live. There are some people who will never be moved off their stance that Michael Jordan is the greatest. I am one of those people, by the way. Maybe part of that is my age. But there are LeBron has checked boxes that are just, you can't debate them. I mean, he broke a record that stood for nearly 40 years. And I know I've heard some people say, well, but he came into the league at 18, which isn't allowed anymore. Okay, and it was allowed for a long time. And you have to come into the league at 18, be relevant at 18, and play for 20 years to be able to amass this. This isn't a stat compiling record. He did this in fewer games than Kareem did. Kareem set the record. He did it in 1,560 games. LeBron right now broke the record in his 1,410th game. So 150 fewer games. LeBron broke Kareem's record. It's pretty stunning, actually, what he's been able to do. And now Kareem, I think, made 1 3-pointer in his entire career. So that's a big disparity there as well, is that LeBron had the benefit of the 3-point shot. But so have a lot of players. So I'm not debating LeBron's greatness. He could play any position on the floor, 1 through 5, and if he solely focused on that, he could be great at it. He's a unicorn. He's an outlier. There's some who say that this is a stat compiling award by LeBron, and I'll disagree. Like, Frank Gore is a stat compiler. No one is ever going to argue that Frank Gore is one of the 5 best running backs in the history of the NFL, but he's 3rd on the NFL's career rushing list because he played in the NFL for damn near 20 years, and that longevity, and he stayed healthy, and he was a productive back for a long time. And so he's 3rd in the league in league history in rushing yardage. And congrats. Like, that's incredible. That doesn't mean you're one of the 5 best running backs or 50 best running backs in the history of the NFL. Like, I could argue Barry Sanders is the best running back in the NFL, but he played 10 years and called it a career. Jim Brown, you have a similar conversation. So there are guys that are stat compilers. LeBron is not one of them. He is one of the truly elite, rarefied players that's ever played, who also happens to have played for a long time, to have been able to compile and amass these gaudy numbers and statistics, much like Kareem did. So I'm not going to downplay LeBron with that. The problem that a lot of people have with LeBron is for example, this quote after last night. LeBron said, when he was asked about the Michael Jordan comparisons, He said, it's going to happen forever and ever. If I was the GM or whatever the case may be of a franchise, I was starting up and I had the number one pick, I would take me. And I don't know what else you'd want the guy to say. And I'm no great LeBron defender. But what I do know is Michael Jordan wouldn't say that. He would deflect because he was far more savvy and he was far more likable and he had the killer instinct. You would also never see Michael Jordan do what LeBron did a couple of Saturdays ago at the end of regulation against Boston, where he threw a hissy fit and went down on his knees like he was praying because he didn't get a call. That's the type of thing, the cramps during the NBA Finals when he was with Miami, where he looked like he got hit by sniper fire. That's the kind of thing where you're like, man, get up. You're too good for that. That's the thing with LeBron that has rubbed people wrong. It's more of a personality thing, I think, and less the player. He is unquestionably one of the greatest players ever. And there will be people that argue he is the greatest basketball player ever. I believe it's still Michael Jordan. He's the greatest scorer, greatest champion, greatest defender, most intense player, greatest winner that the league has ever seen. And I don't know that we'll ever see someone surpass Michael Jordan. I'm open to the possibility of it someday happening in the same way that many of us thought nobody would ever surpass Joe Montana as far as the greatest player in the history of the NFL. And along came Tom Brady, his 7 Super Bowl championships, and it is a consensus that Tom Brady is the greatest player that we have ever seen play the game of football. And it's been incredible to watch him play the game of football. Even if you don't like Tom Brady, you can say you watched the greatest ever. And so that's why I watched last night, whether you like the guy or not. I didn't watch Kareem set the scoring record in 1984. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get to see Wilt Chamberlain play. I didn't get to see Bob Pettit play, all men who have held the scoring record at some point in NBA history. So I can say I watched LeBron play. And he's not done yet, and he is going to put enough distance between himself and whoever is next that this record, which Kareem's record was largely thought untouchable, much like the Lou Gehrig Ironman streak, and then along came Cal Ripken. But that was nearly a century that it took for someone to break Lou Gehrig's Ironman streak. And this, if LeBron continues playing for another year, 2 years, whatever it may be, however much longer he plays, he may put enough distance between himself and whoever is next that this may be literally one that's not broken for 100 years. It would take some type of transcendent type player in an era where maybe there's like a 4-point shot or something wild that we can't even fathom right now for someone to come along and surpass LeBron James. So, look, I look at LeBron, and I know people talk about the titles. He is responsible for the super teams. He couldn't win it in Cleveland, so he had to go assemble the super team in Miami, and that caused the degradation of a lot of star talent in the NBA because you had team. I mean, think about what could have been in Oklahoma City with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden if those guys had stayed together. Think about what that could have been. But because of what Miami did, what LeBron did, you saw these super teams. You saw Kevin Durant go to Golden State. I mean, we all know the stories now. That's what started it, what LeBron did back in 2010. So it's hard to respect those titles that he won. He won them, but it's hard to respect them. I mean, he won a summer camp title in the bubble with the Lakers. Congratulations. Does anybody honestly, legitimately honor that? I mean, it's I guess it was the rules. I mean, they get the trophy and all that stuff, but give me a break. The one that I actually respect the most is the one he got in Cleveland. I mean, I put more weight on Dirk winning one in Dallas than any of the titles LeBron's won. So, look, there's holes that you'll punch in resumes forever. And the greatest conversation will happen. What you can't argue, though, is that he is undeniably in that conversation of MJ, Wilt, Kareem, whatever your list looks like of the greatest ever, he's in the conversation, whether you like him or not. Because I don't know that the NBA has ever seen one like that could play every position on the floor at the highest level. And he's the one. So congrats, LeBron, NBA's all-time scoring leader. It's a piece of history that if you were watching last night, you could say that you were watching win and may never be broken, likely will never be broken, certainly in my lifetime and maybe ever. All right, and then LeBron cursed on live TV after. If you didn't say, I'm not going to play it, obviously, because he dropped an F-bomb. But, yeah, just blatant F-bomb. Now, I'm not going to crush him for that. I sit there with T-Bob and do whiskey and wine. It's the most vulgar thing many of y'all ever hear. So I'm not going to judge anybody for cursing. But live TV, I mean,
No one even tried to stop it either.
Yeah, and everybody applauded, too.
Yeah.
And like all the guys on TNT, like they didn't bleep it, they didn't edit it, there was no delay, or if there was a delay, they didn't even try to go back and edit it. It's cable too, so you can curse on cable. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it's paid TV. It's just not kosher. It's not really acceptable, but you can curse on cable. Anyway, so LeBron, NBA's all-time scoring leader. Okay, we'll knock out a quick break. Come back. Otter has gotten a few early picks in, although I don't know if you want him after last night. It's got to come back, right, Muse? We got to balance out after last night, right, Muse?
Of course. Absolutely. You win it all back today. That's how it works.
Your boy was 0 for 3 last night.
I'm aware.
Muse took a hurting on that one last night. Oh, I was trying to tell Muse. He was like, oh, no, I know. Freaking looked at my account. Otter. We'll get back on track today, though. All right,
that works.
We'll get some Otter picks for the early games next. We'll talk a little LSU, Mississippi State. Don't you move.
AFR.
All right, we're going to spend some time here over the next week plus telling you about Take Me Out to Tallulah. Coming up at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel a week from Friday. So for the LSU baseball season opener, if you're not going to be at the box and you want a place to watch the opener with a bunch of Tiger fans, come hang out with us at Tallulah. It's the restaurant inside the Renaissance Hotel. It's awesome. The menu's fantastic. Great whiskey selection, craft beers as well. The terrace is awesome. So there's going to be an indoor-outdoor flow. They'll have projection screens set up inside and outside on the terrace. They're calling it Bourbon, Beer, Burgers, and Baseball. Again, a week from Friday for the LSU baseball season opener. As soon as AFR is done, I'm getting out of here, getting over to Tallulah. Y'all come watch the LSU baseball season opener a week from Friday at Tallulah with me and everybody else who shows up inside the Renaissance Hotel right there on Blue Bonnet. Take me out to Tallulah.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting. With a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along. Get some overrated, underrated, a little more than 10 minutes from right now. LSU basketball at Mississippi State. They're going to try to bust out of this slump, man. 10-game losing streak, 9 straight in conference play. Of course, they lost the SEC Big 12 Challenge to Texas Tech, so 10 overall. I'll get to that here in a second. I mentioned Otter did pass out some picks early. So, should we really be surprised it went the way it did, Muse?
I'm not. I have my reason why. I'm curious if it's the same reason you have.
Oh, because I think Otter was blitzed last night whenever he gave us the picks.
I don't think he was focused. He normally, whenever EJ's got a game or something, he normally doesn't give out picks.
Yeah.
And I mean, during football season at least.
He would join us. Yeah, he would join us on the phone. He'd be like, Thursday nights when he would be he would join us on the phone and give us a pick. Yeah, he would. He would give us his Thursday night picks. But so if you're watching, listening, and you're not here, at the end of every show, our usually shows end with what you would call what's called a kicker. It's just sort of a light story to just send you into the off, basically. So Jimmy is our kicker, basically. Like our place kicker, but not really. So every day we finish the show. Jimmy's show follows us here in Baton Rouge, and Jimmy does primarily a sports betting show for those that don't know. I'm sure many of you do, but for the benefit of those in maybe New Orleans or Alexandria or watching who aren't familiar. And so we do Otter Locks. He gives us his best bet of the day, and it's very popular, and he has had an incredible year, and he hits at an incredible rate, and he does a show with a whole bunch of professional sports bettors, and a lot of times he compiles picks from those guys. So really, it's plays from very sharp players, like the type of thing that a lot of people will pay for in services and whatnot. But Jimmy's out here and he gives us picks every day. Well, yesterday he gave us 3 plays. Do you remember what they were, Muse, off the top?
Maryland was one of them.
Yeah, how did that one go?
Not well. That one.
That didn't go well.
That one.
What was? Did you have another one that he gave out?
Yeah, I do. I just have to log back.
It was North Carolina State was one of them.
Yeah, NC State. NC State was that one.
Go?
Not good. And I'll be honest, those are the only 2 I played. He gave the early pick.
Yeah, the early pick, by the way, was Rutgers. Remember, he was fading Indiana after the court storming against Purdue. So Rutgers +5 and got nipped there. It was 66-60. So boy, you hate to see that. And look, you hate to see that it was all at the Maryland. I mean, Maryland was +4. They lost by 5. I mean, 2 of them you lost by a point.
Yeah,
he was right there. It wasn't like he was way off. But an 0-for-3 night is still an 0-for-3 night. And I think, as you suspected, I suspected the same, that maybe while Jimmy was at EJ's soccer match last night, maybe he was a little dare we say, deep in Grandpa's cough medicine, eh?
You may have heard Sunday night during the Grammys that people were saying it's Izzo time. No, it's Lizzo. Well, there was a strange movement on the game between Michigan State and Maryland today, thinking it's Izzo time. No, Lizzo time. Izzo time's a little bit later, but we're going to take Maryland, the Terrapins, versus Izzo, Lizzo, the Sparties. We're taking Maryland +4. It's my best bet of the night.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, 4?
Yeah, a little bit.
So that was very reminiscent for me of this summer when Otter went out to Del Mar. He spent like 2 months chasing the ponies at Del Mar, maybe some other stuff as well. And he was in Fuego and baseball all year. He went to Del Mar, and then it's like he forgot the difference between a slider and a fastball. Like, it was incredible. He just forgot everything he knew about baseball, and he couldn't win. That's what last night felt like. So let's hope he gets back on track. But Otter did give us some early games. So here's your picks for the early games. These are 5:30 Central Time tips. So these games tip in 1 hour. He's got Michigan and Creighton. So Otter locks so far. He's got Michigan and Creighton as far as the games that tip at 5:30. Let me check the lines on these. Remember, if it's inside, I don't know the spreads on them right now, but let me check real quick. Because if it's inside of 10 points, if it's single digits, it always says buy the half a point. So Michigan is minus 11.5, so don't buy the half a point. Just Michigan to cover 11.5, and then Creighton is minus 3. So Michigan minus 11.5, Creighton minus 3 are the early plays from the Otter. So if you want to go ahead and lock them in, of course, we always encourage you to do that at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday is coming up on Sunday. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. For your new customer, use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 bet on the Super Bowl. They'll give you $200 in free bets. It's incredible. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. New and existing customers every day this week leading up to the Super Bowl, DraftKings is boosting a prop bet. So you got to check in every afternoon to check which prop bet that day is boosted, and you get up to 100% boost on those stepped-up same-game parlays or any of the prop bets as well. So check them out at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge.
21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. Opt-in required for odds boost. Bet type and amount limits vary. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
I need your help to fix it. You have to re-record it so I can
You can do it.
It's not me. It's
Doesn't
you.
matter.
They don't pay for my voice.
Doesn't matter. You're not doing an endorsement. You're just doing a disclaimer.
Send me the disclaimer. I also don't have the copy points because it's not my live spot.
You know what I hear? I hear lots of excuses.
I think that's a very sound
Paulie.
argument. How can I read the disclaimer and I don't have the disclaimer?
Paulie, do you hear a lot of excuses? Just a lot of excuse making?
I do.
That's all I hear.
Of course you do, Paul.
I mean, you know what we need? You know what we need around here, Paulie?
What's that?
We need problem solvers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, not excuse makers.
You started off so well, too. It just went downhill.
That's a great point, Paulie. You remember how he started off? He was like 1 for 3. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to the Hall of Fame." I was like, "Oh, you're only 2 segments into the show." Well, then we got commercials that sound like
that's not
dragging
my
through the
fault.
mud. He can't do Sports Center, and he clipped the top of the
I
hour.
could do Sports Center. We
and
did
now
Sports
this
Center.
thing, and I tell you, Paulie. I mean, where's that batting average now, Paulie?
It might be in the hundreds.
The commercial spot is like getting hit by a pitch. That I get to take my base on that. That was not my fault at all. Like not even 1/10 of that was my fault.
Oh man! All right, it's time for further review. Watching LSU basketball will feel like getting hit by a pitch. How about that one, huh? How about that one? Was that good?
That's good.
Give me the rim shot, Muse. Come on, man.
It might hurt a little bit more than a pitch, though.
Oh God! Mississippi State is 15-8 overall. They're just 3-7 in the league. It's been a rough go for Chris Jans there in year 1. But my goodness, Matt McMahon and his team, they've lost 10 in a row. This is some perspective for you. Mississippi State is 3-7 in the league. Now, they have won 3 in a row, including their win in overtime over TCU in the SEC Big 12 Challenge. But they've won back-to-back league games against South Carolina, who, along with LSU and Ole Miss, are the worst teams in the league. But an impressive win at home against Missouri this weekend. Missouri, I think, has exceeded a lot of people's expectations this year. But so State's won 3 in a row, but they're still sitting there at 3-7 in the league. State's a 9.5-point favorite over LSU. They're almost a double-digit favorite against this LSU team. And it's the same old song and dance, and I don't know that I have anything else to say about them. We'll see if Trey Hannibal goes tonight. He didn't play on Saturday against Bama. That was a coach's decision, according to Matt McMahon. Maybe something worth keeping an eye on tonight is Derek Fountain. I'll remind you, Derek Fountain transferred to LSU from Mississippi State, so he's going back playing against his former team. And Fountain went off against Alabama on Saturday, had a career high in points. Maybe they found a little something there in Derek Fountain. And Matt McMahon on his radio show talked about the Mississippi State transfer.
The thing I'm excited about with Derek is
he's also starting to establish a leadership role in the team, which has been an area we've sorely lacked throughout this season. And I think he has great credibility because he's consistent in his effort, in his commitment to the team. So players want to follow that, want to continue to empower him to have a voice in the locker room because he's about the right things, and he's about what we want to build the program around.
Fountain against Alabama had 26 points. He was 6 of 9 from the floor. He was 2 of 3 from 3, and he was 12 of 15 from the free throw line. So he got to the line, and he converted. Again, Derek Fountain will be going against his former mates tonight there at the Hump. As LSU takes on Mississippi State, 10-game losing streak, 9 consecutive SEC losses for the Tigers. It's an 8 o'clock tip on the SEC Network. You can listen to it in Baton Rouge on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back, do a little overrated, underrated. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. We'll get you the latest next hour. We'll get you the latest on Derek Carr's visit to New Orleans. And Dennis Allen has hired a new secondaries coach. We'll get to all of that still coming up. I'm glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential. If you need a realtor, you need Darren James. You need the realtor that works harder to get your home sold faster for more money than any other realtor, and the proof is in the numbers. Darren's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. And there's so many great programs Darren has. I'll tell you about the Love It or Leave It program. Buy a home from Darren. If you have to move within a year for whatever reason, transfer a job, kids move schools, whatever, he'll sell your home for free for his half of the commission. He's got his guarantee program where Darren, there's no obligation. If at any point you're not thrilled with the work he's doing, you can fire him. Let you out of a contract free and clear, no questions asked. But you won't. There's a reason Darren's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. And if you want to see Darren's marketing plan, it's easy. Just text the word PLAN, P-L-A-N, to 88,000. Text the word PLAN to 88,000 and see how Darren James is going to sell your home faster for more money.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on select new 2022 Ford F-150 trucks. $10,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. Bulls, Bands, and Barrels at the Lamar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It's the 104.5 ESPN Big Game Contest presented by Heineken Silver, where you could win $50,000 cash if your name is drawn from the pot and you correctly guess the final score of the game. We'll also be selecting a guaranteed local winner. The 104.5 ESPN Big Game Contest is presented by Heineken Silver. All the taste, no bitter endings. Get your score guesses in now at 1045ESPN.com.
Muse, I want to hit a poll question update if we could. We, in hour number one, talked a little bit about what kind of is the big news of the day. Derek Carr visiting the New Orleans Saints. We've gone through a lot of the scenarios. Just a very, very, very quick recap. Derek Carr is under contract with the Raiders in 7 days. My God, why am I so bad at math? Yeah, 7 days from now, on the 15th, February 15th, some $40 million of his contract becomes guaranteed. So the Raiders are not going to pay him that. He's not going to be back. So they're either going to trade him before then or cut him before then if they can't find a trade partner. I am adamantly opposed to the Saints trading for Derek Carr. If the Raiders cut him and the Saints can sign him to an agreeable one-year deal that makes sense, fine. Something like they did a couple of years ago with Jameis. Something that they did last year with Andy Dalton. Okay, great. Giving up an asset, giving up draft picks, even if it's a 6th-round pick, giving up an asset for the right to take on Derek Carr's enormous contract, even if you restructure it, at 32 years old, is a heinous decision if the Saints walk that path. What say the people?
Yeah, so the question, Citizens Bank poll question of the day, what will the Saints do with Derek Carr? Trade for him, sign him in free agency, not sign him. 48.6% say they're going to trade for him.
And what else?
32% say sign him in free agency, and 18% say not sign him.
So roughly 80% think that Derek Carr is going to be the Saints quarterback next year. And I'm okay, again, with Derek Carr being... Derek Carr is a better option today than Andy Dalton. What Derek Carr is not is a quarterback that's going to lead you for the next 10 years and get you consistently to the playoffs and then win a Super Bowl. He's just never been that guy in his career, and he's not physically the player that he once was. He's 32. So, man, I get it. Dennis Allen drafted him, started him as a rookie, and likes him. And I like him fine enough, too. I like him better than the options the Saints have right now. But I like him as a one-year rent player, drafting the guy you think is going to be your future. See what they do. We'll know in a week, within a week. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out here. Love telling you about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. We'll do overrated, underrated here in just a second. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. It's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. You know, when the weather gets colder, you know, if your home central heater has to work overtime because of those costly air leaks, the cold air is getting in, the warm air is getting out, you reverse that in the summer when it's so hot outside. Is your AC escaping the home because of costly air leaks? Don't do it. The Energy Star products from Relief Windows, they measure twice, install once, custom windows, fit for your home. It'll reduce your energy bills, increase your home's resale value. It's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. All right, Muse, let's do a little overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
All right, what you got there, Mussolini?
A little Super Bowl edition of overrated, underrated.
Okay.
How about that? Yeah.
Look at Muse give a little credit. Look at that bass knock.
All
Paulie?
All things
Paulie?
Super Bowl here. Oh, such a good sound, man. Metal bat or wood bat? Better sound.
Oh, wood bat.
Oh,
the crack of the wood bat.
I agree. That's great.
Oh.
Better sound than all of it. The whole team playing catch on the baseline pregame. So good. Love the pop of the mitt, man. 'Cause you got the pop of the mitt. You got the spikes crunching on the dirt a little bit. And that, it's all just good.
The oral pleasures of baseball absolutely is unrivaled in sport. It's the crack of the bat, the pop of the mitt, the roar of the crowd. All of that is truly unrivaled. There are many oral pleasures when it comes to baseball.
Overrated or underrated?
AURAL, Muse.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. You brought it up.
You freak.
Whoa. Super Bowl commercials. Overrated or underrated?
Super Bowl commercials are underrated for the advertiser. It's interesting how we focus so much on how much a 30-second spot costs. Which, what is it? Do we know what it is?
It was $7 million this year.
This year,
$7 million.
$7 million. There are very few places, if any in the world, where you could pay $7 million and guarantee 100 million people are going to see it. Like, the problem so often with advertising is, are people going to consume it? People actually make the commercials part of the viewing experience. Super Bowl commercials are underrated, actually. Underrated. If I was promoting a product and had $7 million, I would buy a Super Bowl ad. The key is you got to deliver, like with the creative, right? I mean,
it's got to be good.
You can't swing and miss. But that's on you. That's not on the opportunity.
There's lists. People review these. Like, there's lists every Monday.
Super Bowl
Best
ad meter.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
We talk about them.
We do.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Gordon. Oh, am I doing that one next? Yeah, I am doing
Actually,
that one next.
yes. How about that?
Gordon's got the Super Bowl ad, the local Super. I'll explain all that coming up. But yeah,
All
Gordon's got the local Super Bowl ad.
Overrated or underrated? The Squares board. You see it at every Super Bowl party.
Yeah, I think Squares board, I would say, is properly rated. It's not going to be as popular as sports betting, as we've seen, but Squares allows everybody to play. Like, where, I mean, even if you're a coach at a school, maybe you get fired because you gambled by buying a Square. Like entering a bracket challenge or something like that. Poor Rick Neuheisel. Like, the guy got hosed. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, Rick Neuheisel got hosed. Dude filled out a bracket and he gets fired for gambling. Give me a break. Anyway, like my wife, for example, at her school, they'll probably have a Squares deal. Buy a Square. Everybody at work, anybody can do it, even if you don't know anything about the game. You pick your numbers, you buy your Squares, and you look, and it gives you something to cheer for. So I think it's properly rated, the Squares.
Overrated or underrated? The Super Bowl party as a whole.
So I am going to argue, and this is one where I'm going to go. Overrated and underrated isn't necessarily how I feel about things. It's my if I feel something in general is overrated or underrated, not just for my likes. I'm going to tell you, for me, in this instance, a Super Bowl party is horrendously overrated. I want to watch the game. I want to watch the commercials. I don't want to hang out with people that I don't know or rarely see. I don't want people talking during the game or talking to me. I like Sunday, I'm going to be sitting at my house by myself. I'll probably cook myself a steak, have a glass of wine, and maybe, like, I love cheesecake. That's my vice.
So good.
And I give myself a piece of cheesecake, and that's going to be my Super Bowl Sunday. Sound way up, completely ignoring my phone, and watching the Super Bowl. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So the party, I don't want to come to your party. It's not you. It's nothing personal. I'm sure you're lovely. I'm sure all your guests are wonderful people. I'd love to come to another party, but not one during the Super Bowl because I have no interest in socializing. I want to watch the Super Bowl. So, the Super Bowl party is horribly overrated. Don't invite me. I'm not coming.
Lastly, the Super Bowl halftime show. Overrated or underrated?
So this is really a year-by-year basis. When it hits, it's legendary. Michael Jackson at the Rose Bowl, Prince in Miami.
Yep.
I mean, you know the ones that hit forever. Janet Jackson's boob everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, those are incredible. But you have some that just sting and that just miss.
The Who.
Like anything else. The Who was the year the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 44. Tom Petty. Not great.
Well, they went to that after the whole
I know.
Nipplegate. They decided to be a little more family friendly and stuff. But I think when it hits, it's incredible. It's incredible theater, incredible entertainment. It probably misses more than it hits because the expectation is so high. Like Shakira J-Lo. I would have loved to have seen that 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Still good.
Give me 40-year-old J-Lo, 30-year-old Shakira instead of 50-year-old J-Lo, 40-year-old Shakira. You know what I mean? Still good.
Still good.
Could have been way better 10 years ago. Anyway. All right. Is that all?
Yeah, it's overrated, underrated.
Wonderful. It's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love to tell you about Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. It's raining right now, isn't it? I can hear the thunder. Well, I guess we'll prepare for it. We are always prepared for it over at Hudco Roofing. When it rains, our phones ring. It's that simple because I tell you all the time, there's two ways to find out if you have roof damage. You let us come do a free, no obligation roofing inspection and inspect your roof for damage, or you wait till it rains, you get water in your house. One of those options is better than the other, but still, some of you like to learn the hard way, but that's okay. Whenever you need roof help, we're here to help at Hudco Roofing. I'm not sure if you noticed, there's one of those big old national roofing companies that came in after Hurricane Ida. Recently, they've closed up shop here in the greater Baton Rouge area. Not surprising. That's why I say it oftentimes. We were here before the storm. We'll be here after the storm, whichever storm that is. We're a Louisiana company at Hudco Roofing, owned and operated, run by Louisiana people, using Louisiana products, and we ain't going nowhere. Been here more than 20 years, be here in the future. It's Hudco Roofing. Go to the website, 318-225-504-337. Wherever you are in the state, there's a phone number of the office nearest you. Find that one, call it. We'd love to get out and give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Maybe you're a property manager. We do gigantic commercial jobs as well. We'd love to bid on whatever commercial job that you have available. Just give us a shout. We'd love to work with you at Hudco Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, been a really good show. We're glad you're with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Trivia tonight. You can get by either location and play some trivia. A busy 5 o'clock hour straight ahead. We will get to Pluckers Trivia. Also, the updated transfer portal rankings, and Saints have added a DB coach. That's all coming up in hour 3, but we will get to Tigers and the Pros. Oh, what a night for Cam Thomas. Again, times 3. That's next.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. So the ad itself is embargoed. But I can tell you that when the Super Bowl happens, you have whatever station carries the Super Bowl has a limited number of local ad avails that they can sell. Normally, what you see are all the national ads, but you'll get maybe, I think, 2 minutes of local ads during the course of the game. Well, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys has a Super Bowl ad this year, and I don't want to tease it. I don't want to give it away, but it does involve a very well-known, one of their very well-known NIL ambassadors that I think you are really going to enjoy. So look for it in the third quarter of the Super Bowl on Sunday, the Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys ad. Really looking forward to seeing it. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Sylvia Weatherspoon in the WBRZ studios. Here is a preview of what we're working on for News 2 tonight. The Metro Council is investigating how much damage law enforcement has caused when they execute warrants at private homes. We speak to one woman whose house was ransacked despite the person officers were looking for not being there. Plus, an unwelcome error on a welcome sign is causing one town a lot of headaches. We'll show you why. That much more tonight on WBRZ News 2.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We are glad you're here. Muso as Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Cam Thomas.
What?
My goodness.
Who?
Told you yesterday, he's a bad man.
I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man.
Told you he was going to drop 50. I
like
missed it a little bit. I missed it a little bit. He dropped 44. 43, I apologize. On just
hashtag math.
On just 23 shots. That's some pretty good efficiency. Another starting role. So with his third straight 40-point game, Cam Thomas is now the youngest player in NBA history to score 40-plus points in 3 straight games. He's the first player in Nets NBA history, New Jersey or Brooklyn, to score 40-plus points in 3 straight games.
What?
And Matt, he has more 40-point games this season now than
Ben Simmons.
Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Zion Williamson, and Ja Morant.
Is that good?
And he's done it in 3 straight games.
Holy moly.
Pretty darn good.
134 points.
He's getting 50.
In his last 3 games.
One more for you. His odds at DraftKings for most improved player yesterday were at 200 to 1. Now they're at 40 to 1. He's a bad man.
Bro, this is like Linsanity, bro. This is like that Linsanity run.
It is.
I mean,
we all knew Cam could score here. And now everybody else kind of finding out that
they just need to get Kyrie out. Dude, bucket getters get buckets.
Yeah.
I mean, said that forever when he was here. Now I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you I saw him getting 40 in 3 straight games out of nowhere. But is he capable? You let him put the ball in the air. He's gonna find the hoop, man. Straight bucket getter.
Naz Reid last night, 12 minutes in a starting role for the Timberwolves. Shot 5 of 9. That's 11 points and 3 rebounds for Naz. Missed this yesterday. My apologies. We'll get it in now. Darius Days did make his NBA debut. Played 2 minutes in the Rockets' last game, scored 2 points. So hopefully more on the horizon for Darius Days. And we'll get you an update here. PGA Tour, the Waste Management Phoenix Open is this week. Tees off tomorrow. Sam Burns in the field, 9:10 a.m. Central Time for Burns in that one. And on the Korn Ferry Tour, Curtis Thompson will tee off at 8:05 a.m. Central Standard Time. That is Tigers in the Pro.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Maybe because it's the season of love, Muse is finally showing Curtis Thompson a little love.
I just like Curtis Thompson.
Maybe you should go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry and buy him a gift in the little red box. Gentlemen, don't screw it up. You're inside of a week now, 6 days. Go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, hour number 3, right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Michelle weighing in, measurement 76 years and going strong. You know where to find them. They're online at Michelle.com. That's Michelle.com. They spent so much of last year. I love what they did. Spent so much of last year continuing to expand their PMD, their precision measurement device calibration services. So like their Harahan office, they expanded by 6,100 square feet. In Houston, they expanded by 1,400 square feet. Their Baton Rouge location by 1,200 square feet. Bossier in the Mobile area as well. I know that's a mouthful. Just understand that even after 75 years, they are still looking to grow and expand and help you stay more efficient. It's Michelle Weighing and Measurement. Hey, hit the careers tab at the top. If you're interested in a career instead of a job, they have great careers for veterans as well. Learn more at Michelle.com. It's Michelle Weighing and Measurement. Online, again, at Michelle.com.
Bourbon Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Otter.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls, Bands, and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A day after his former Cavaliers teammate LeBron James became the NBA's all-time leading scorer, Kyrie Irving takes center stage tonight in Hollywood when he makes his Mavericks debut against the Clippers in L.A., 10 Eastern ESPN TV. In Irving, the Mavs have a star to play alongside Luka Doncic, and together they will form one of the NBA's most dynamic duos, believes ESPN NBA analyst Jalen Rose.
Both of these guys, guess what they make you do? Double team. And you can't double team both of them on the same play at the same time, which means they're going to be able to go one-on-one on a nightly basis. And it's going to be a nightmare for defenses. One of these guys is going to score 35 points every night.
Doncic tonight is out a third straight game with a bruised right heel. ESPN's Andrew Lopez reporting Pelicans forward Zion Williamson out through the All-Star break with an injured hamstring. At his annual Wednesday news conference before the Super Bowl, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said NFL games will now be flexed on Monday Night Football next season, and there could be further flex scheduling on the horizon, even Thursday nights.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. You ever have that happen where you just forget?
It's hump day.
You just forget something really obvious, like your phone number?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Something you say all the time, and it just doesn't come out?
It's hump day.
That just happened.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What do I normally say before hump day on Wednesday?
Hump day.
Hour 3 off we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it again. Turn it off. Or I'll do it again. Just turn it off. All right. Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt, Paul, Musa. We're here. Glad yours. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Okay. Maybe just because I slowed the pace. Did I just?
Yeah, maybe. You didn't have the by the way. You didn't have the by the way in there either.
No. I know, because I was trying to remember if there was something else I said before. Anyway.
It's hump day.
Dennis Allen's trying to piss me off.
Mike.
Again?
What day is it, Mike?
Again.
Hump day.
He stepped on it.
It's hump day.
We got transfer portal rankings coming up. This is all out of sorts.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I'm so out of sorts. I can't get back on track. I don't know what happened to me just now. All right. Got a Zion update.
It's hump day.
Graf dropped a... No? Boy, this is terrible. Turn it off. Just turn it off. Cut bait. Just off. Cut bait. Look, sometimes your mic's not on. This is
real bad. Wow. This is awful. We haven't done it in the 5 o'clock hour in like a few weeks. How to practice.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Your friend over there? You know, the guy who has the board that runs all of the audio for the show?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was just talking and his mic wasn't on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
What just happened?
Three pitch strikeout.
What just happened? Muse, your batting average is plummeting.
Looking, by the way, backwards K.
I mean, you're at
You might be in the minors by now.
you're at 036 on the days where you're at now, Muse. And the beginning there wasn't even your fault. But boy, did you just cave it around. That was, look, learned a long time ago, man. Just radio, it's live. Sometimes you just cut bait, just move on. So we're just moving on. I mean, that was Ryan's whys, is what that was right there. The open of this hour was Ryan's whys. Man, just move on. Forget it ever happened. We do have some breaking news here from Andrew Lopez. If you were listening this probably isn't surprising, shouldn't be surprising. If you were listening to SportsCenter, Andrew Lopez, our buddy from ESPN.com, Pelicans reporter, reporting Zion Williamson will not play in the next 3 games and will not play in the All-Star game. Willie Green said the team will not see the starting 5 they started the year before the All-Star game. So, expect Zion to be reevaluated once again after the break from his right hamstring injury. So, that should not really be any surprise whatsoever, because if you're following just chronologically, when Zion was injured against Philly back on January 2nd, when he hurt the hamstring, we talked about then. He was going to be out for 3 weeks, then they'd reevaluate. Of course, the 3-week deadline passed. They said it'll be a couple more weeks. They'll look again. Well, we looked at, if you were just following the timeline chronologically, that was going to take you right up to the week before the All-Star break, which is where we are now. And it would have made no sense. Why rush him back for 3 games when you could let him sit another 3 and then have another week off for the All-Star break? So, when you look at the Pelicans' schedule heading into the All-Star break, and where they are now, again, they're back into the 8 seed, and they're a game and a half out from being in the 4 seed. So they're in a much healthier spot now after this 3-game winning streak than they were clearly amid the 10-game losing streak. But you play Friday against Cleveland at home, then you're at OKC, at the Lakers, and then you've got a week off. You play that Wednesday game against the Lakers. You don't play again until the following Thursday at Toronto. So in theory, February 23rd, you could have Zion back. That would essentially give him almost 2 full months to heal from the hamstring injury. And if he's working out again over the All-Star break, he could start getting back into shape, and you could ease him back in. So no Zion before the All-Star break. That shouldn't be a great surprise. We'll see at what point they get him back after the All-Star break. But as Graf told us yesterday, 8 games. 8 games. That's it. 8 games this team has played this year with their full starting 5. 8. Get them healthy in time for the stretch run, in time for the playoffs, and see what kind of noise you can make. All right, it's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Remember, trivia tonight, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Test your knowledge. We'll get some Pluckers trivia here at the bottom of this hour. We talked earlier today about Derek Carr, who's visiting the New Orleans Saints today. No update yet on how that visit appears to have gone. I'm getting a lot of your reaction, though, to the Derek Carr possibilities. And again, Derek Carr has a massive contract. Raiders have a week. By the 15th of this month, they're going to make their decision what they're going to do with Derek Carr. Are they going to cut him, or are they going to trade him? We got to have a trade partner. And what we know is that the Raiders would not have allowed him to go on a visit if there weren't the possibility of a trade. So Derek Carr is visiting the Saints today, which tells you there's a possibility the Saints are willing to give the Raiders draft capital, in order to obtain Derek Carr, which I think would be an absolutely hideous decision. Now, Matt King texted the show and said, trade Derek Carr for Michael Thomas, asking a question. I want to reiterate this again. I know I've said this a bajillion times, so those of you who listen are tired of hearing it. I don't mean this to in any way be disrespectful to Matt King. I thank you very much for listening to the show and for sending the question. But I also understand that when I get stuff like that, it's further evidence that people don't listen all day, every day to everything we say. Even when I feel like I've said this 10 bajillion times. Michael Thomas cannot be traded. Cannot be traded. The Saints restructured Michael Thomas's contract. In so doing, it made him untradeable. Some team would have to give the New Orleans Saints an asset for a player that has not played in 3 years and currently has a contract that would pay him $13 million in 2023 and then $59 million in 2024. Yeah, I'm certain the Raiders are aching to take on Michael Thomas's contract where they owe him $59 million next year. Michael Thomas is going to be cut. He'll be designated as a post-June 1 release. That's what the Saints did in restructuring Michael Thomas's contract. Maybe Michael Thomas doesn't want to hit the open market. He's willing to come back and do some type of lesser deal. I don't know. We'll see. But Michael Thomas has no trade value. He had none before. And especially now with the way they've restructured this deal, there's no way he can be traded. So please, I'm begging you, do not ever mention to me again the possibility of Michael Thomas being traded. I am really, really, really sick of answering that question. Now, John Fredrickson asked about Derek Carr and said, would you trade a third rounder for him, for Derek Carr? Absolutely not. No. No chance at all. Zero chance. I would give the Raiders a third-round pick for Derek Carr. No chance. Derek Carr, again, I'm going to say this again. You're not just trading for the player. You're also trading for his contract. So you would be giving the Raiders a third-round pick for the right to pay Derek Carr $34 million this year, $43.8 million next year, and $43.1 million when he's 34, almost 35 years old in 2025. There is no way, there is no chance in holy hell that I would trade any asset whatsoever for Derek Carr. None. Now, the Saints clearly are entertaining the idea. Otherwise, Carr wouldn't be visiting. The Raiders wouldn't have allowed him to visit. Wait for the Raiders to cut Derek Carr because they're going to cut him in 7 days and see if he picks you. And if he picks you, great. Sign him to a bargain basement deal or whatever's agreeable for the two sides, a 1-year deal, maybe some incentives, all that sort of stuff. And if he picks you, great. You're better off at quarterback with Carr than you are with Andy Dalton. But there is no chance when the Saints are already $55 million over the salary cap, and you're going to have to restructure all these contracts again, that I'm going to take on this man's contract when he's 32 years old. Derek Carr today, I'm going to say this again, Derek Carr today is what Andy Dalton was 3 years ago when Cincinnati kicked him to the curb. He was still starting quarterback in the NFL, a good player, past his prime, was never an elite player, and certainly isn't going to be now. Do not give up anything of value for Derek Carr. Let the Raiders cut Derek Carr, and maybe his preference will be to sign with the Saints, the coach that drafted him back in 2014, a coach that clearly still believes that he has value. And maybe that's something Derek Carr wants. But my goodness, a third-round pick. You realize the Saints used a third-round pick and drafted Trey Hendrickson? You realize they used a third-round pick and got Alvin Kamara? You're trying to justify to me a third-round pick for an aging quarterback for the right to pay him these astronomical amounts? Huh. Hard pass. Dennis Allen, man. Did y'all see this today? Apparently the Saints are hiring defensive backs coach Marcus Robertson. Robertson, this is going to shock you. Hey, Muse, I'm going to ask you. I'm guessing you don't know the answer to this, but you want to take a guess where Robertson worked as an assistant defensive backs coach in 2014?
The Oakland Raiders.
Oh, my God, you're a genius.
Oh.
My goodness, give yourself a ding there, Muse. Get that batting average back up.
There we go.
Dennis Allen's getting the 2014 Raiders back together. That's what he's doing. Joe Woods, who was the DC, then hired him back. Marcus Robertson, who was an assistant defensive backs coach on that team, hired him. He's trying to kick the tires to get Derek Carr back here. I mean, I get it. Those 2014 Raiders, they were 3-13. Pillar of stability and success in the NFL. Why wouldn't you want to try to replicate that model? You know, I started sports radio in 2007. This idea just popped into my mind. 2007. I've been in radio since 03. But I started in sports in 07. That was a year after the Saints went to the NFC Championship game. And yes, they had back-to-backs. They went 7-9, 8-8 in 07-08. And, of course, won the Super Bowl, won this great stretch. I've never done a sports talk show when the Saints stunk. I've lived it my whole life. I mean, the Saints were awful for 40 years before Peyton and Bree showed up. But I've never hosted this show with a feeling like the Saints. And look, they had bad seasons, right? I mean, they had the back-to-back 7-9 seasons from 14, 15, and 16. So there have been times where we've had conversations like, are they close? Should they move on from Breeze? Do they reset? Like, we've had those conversations. But it feels like the Saints are wandering into a desolate wasteland. And this is a very different feeling, and it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. All right. Let me knock out a break. If you want to react, you can. You can email us. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're there, please smash the like button. We appreciate all that. All the engagement on YouTube helps all the shows that we stream live there. So we appreciate that. Of course, you can always text us 225-396-4400. 396-4400, 396-4400. Okay, let me knock out a break. We'll come back. Updated transfer portal rankings. Tell you what it means for LSU. That's next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by New Orleans Flooring, NOLAflooring.com. So 2 locations that I want to tell you about. Of course, number 1, the location in Metairie, so hence New Orleans Flooring. And then their second location is in the greater Baton Rouge area, Airline Highway in Prairieville. So if you're on Airline, you're going south. You know where the Walmart is on Airline in Prairieville. Just past the Walmart. It's just past the Walmart on the right. Blue sign, can't miss it. New Orleans Flooring is awesome. And I hammer price all the time because they're going to beat everybody in price. I mean, they cut out the middleman. They give you 40, 50, 60% discounts. It doesn't matter if you're looking at carpet, tile, hardwood, laminate, waterproof flooring. They have it all at extremely discounted prices. But you're going to get a great experience as well. They got expert installers. You can buy today. They'll install tomorrow. They've got huge inventory, mobile showroom. It's really a one-stop shop there at New Orleans Flooring. Go see Terrell. Go see Big Sean. Tell them Matt sent you in there. Go hang out with the guys and see all the options they have at New Orleans Flooring. NOLAflooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right. Bayou.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I'm glad you're rolling along with us here. So last week was the February signing day. Of course, LSU didn't sign any players, but in light of last week's signing day, a lot of the sites have updated their transfer portal rankings. And keep in mind that these are the team transfer portal rankings. So this isn't a player ranking. It's looking at the transfer portal classes. Players, of course, the portal window is closed for players to enter. However, there will be another window after spring. But players in the portal can sign at any time. Now, the spring semester has started, and you kind of need to be enrolled already at the place where you're going to attend school. But there are different enrollment dates, but I think you all understand the point. There's no deadline or period when a player can pick a school or enroll or anything like that. But because last week's signing date came and went, and other transfer players did make their announcement. Of course, we learned just yesterday, Ja'Kai Clark, the offensive lineman that LSU had offered from Miami, the center, had started 39 games. He's chosen SMU, so he's now picked SMU, and he's enrolled there. But I wanted to update the transfer portal rankings, so I was kind of looking around at some of them because I saw a few today. ESPN's got LSU 9th. USA Today's got LSU second behind Florida State. I kind of looked at some of the scouting services, though. And I think one thing that's important to note is how they quantify their ranking. So, for example, On3 has UCLA number 1. And they got Colorado number 2, followed by Ole Miss, Auburn, Southern Cal, Wisconsin, Arkansas, Louisville. You're probably thinking, where's LSU? Have we been saying LSU's got the number 1 transfer class in the country? We have been saying that. But Maryland 10, Oregon, Arizona State, Indiana, Washington, Florida State 15, TCU, Houston, Oklahoma, Michigan, and then there, 20th, you have your Fighting Tigers of LSU. And you're thinking, LSU 20th in the portal rankings? That doesn't make sense. Well, the way that On3 calculates theirs is your net score based on transfers in and transfers out. So LSU signed 11 players, but lost 18 players. So when you look at it, they've got 4 4-stars incoming, 7 3-stars incoming, but they lost 15 3-stars that have transferred out of the program. So because of the amount of players who transferred out, your total index score is lower. That's why the ranking for LSU is lower in On3. If you look at 247, however, they're just looking at the players that you signed. And so the 2023 transfer portal team rankings at 247 has LSU number one in the country. And this is the one that we've referenced often because we're talking about the players in, not necessarily the players out, which I think is probably it's totally subjective, obviously. But for me, this is the more appropriate way to look at it, not just because LSU's number one, but because I think when you think of the portal, you're thinking more along the lines of what you gained and not necessarily what you lost. LSU did lose some significant players to the transfer portal. I think DeMario Tolan is going to be a phenomenal linebacker and is going to play a lot and be really good at Auburn. Walker Howard, obviously, leaving LSU hurts. But in terms of just the 2023 football season, the additions LSU made on the defensive line, Omar Spates at linebacker, the talent they added at cornerback, you've improved your team. I don't even think that's debatable. LSU has improved through the portal for 2023 with what they gained as opposed to what they lost, which was a lot of players, but a lot of players that weren't necessarily expected to contribute. You had backup offensive linemen, and you had a lot of guys that probably weren't going to be in the mix this year. From some of the defensive backs that we've talked about, like Jordan Tolles, Colby Fields at linebacker. You've seen some of those guys leave. You hate to lose a guy like Jack Besh, who everyone really liked, was very much a fan favorite, and was a really, really productive player as a freshman, and had some injury issues and took a little bit of a step back this year. But I think by and large, you look at the quality of the players that you added, the level of talent, the positions of need, you're better. You're better because of what you added. So anyway, so LSU still number one in the transfer portal team rankings at 247, followed by number 2, Florida State, which, of course, LSU and Florida State do open up the 2023 season together against each other in Orlando. And just yesterday, we were talking about Bill Connolly with the returning production rankings for the SP+, and Florida State is at the top of that list, and LSU isn't far behind. So those are two teams that are going to be on everybody's list to say, if you're looking for a breakthrough team, a potential playoff breakthrough team, look at LSU and Florida State. Both won 10 games. Both return a ton. Both have manageable schedules. Both were very successful in adding via the transfer portal. That game is in Orlando. Saying this near the end of the season, and some of y'all laughed at me. You know who you are. But it was obvious to see this was going to line up to be a preseason top 10 matchup, and maybe the most anticipated Week 1 game of the 2023 season when LSU and Florida State tangled down in Orlando on Labor Day weekend. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. You can check them out online, or you can go to the website and get the number to call Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. Again, mold-0usa.com. They do awesome work servicing Greater Baton Rouge and Greater New Orleans. So anywhere Greater Baton Rouge, of course, Greater New Orleans includes the North Shore and Slidell. So get to the website, 225 or 504. They'll come give you that free estimate for your home, for an office building. If you have mold, think you might have mold, even odors or other pathogens, call Mold Zero. Patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's a phenomenal option for people to live in a mold-free home, odor-free home that's safe for your family, or a place of business that's safe for your employees. It's Mold Zero USA. Get to the website, mold-0usa.com. Learn about this patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. All right, man, been a really good show. Golly, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Golf. We opened up with our homage to Graf. I would highly recommend that you go hear it if you didn't. We had a lot of fun with this. Graf did what he said he would do, and I, as a man of my word, led today's show with his "Yeah, you're right."
Taken away by Nance, just ripped it away from him to Jose, to Najee, back to Jose, left angle 3. Yeah, you're right!
Why is it so good? I blew a gasket several times about the Derek Carr situation. If the Saints trade for Derek Carr, if they give up assets, if the Saints give up assets to acquire Derek Carr in that contract, I think it'll be the worst personnel decision the Saints have made since trading an entire draft for Ricky Williams. We'll follow that over the next week, certainly. Talk some basketball. LSU at Mississippi State tonight. Gave you the Otters early picks, which are about to tip right now. Michigan and Creighton. If you want to get in on it, 5:30 tip. So right now, Michigan minus 11.5, Creighton minus 3. We're going to get the Otters picks in about 15 minutes for the rest of the slate. But if you want to get in on the early games, again, Michigan minus 11.5, Creighton minus 3. We're not going to break. We'll do some Pluckers trivia when we come back. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Otter locks in about 15 minutes. Ton to do, so much to do, so little time. We'll continue on AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all. Remember, this Friday, what's it? Today's Wednesday, so 2 days. 2 days, we're at Rouse's in Denham. Make sure you're with us. Alex Bregman will be there. The Breggy Bomb salsa, which you've heard about for years now. The Breggy Bomb product line is expanding. They're launching barbecue sauce just in time for Super Bowl Sunday. So get by Rouse's. This week, Breggy Bomb will be available statewide in all the Rouse's. So AFR Friday from Rouse's in Denham. Not just AFR, a Hunt Palmer show as well. So Hunt from 1 to 3, AFR 3 to 6. We'll be live at Rouse's in Denham. Bregman's scheduled to be there from 2 to 5. He'll be signing bottles of his sauce. He'll be taking pictures. Come meet him. Come meet Bregman. Come hang out. Come get some Breggy Bomb. Come get some king cake. Come get some crawfish. Get everything you need for Super Bowl Sunday. Get all of your beverages, snacks, all of it at Rouse's, your one-stop shop where, of course, Rouse's, this feels like home. This Friday, AFR with Alex Bregman live from Rouse's in Denham Springs.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls Bands and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting with a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
After I kind of blew a gasket a little bit earlier on the Carr situation, I'm starting to get a lot of questions and comments coming through. Can you update our poll question for us, too, Muse, here in a second? Matthew K. said, should we still expect to see big trades coming this offseason? Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, DeMario Davis. Remember, Marcus Davenport is going to be a free agent. Like, you exercised his fifth-year option. This was a money year for him. The Saints have to – you're not trading him. The Saints have to decide if they want to re-sign him. Could you move Cam Jordan? They've reworked so many contracts. I need to pull up Cam Jordan's contract to see if that's one that's even capable of being moved. He signed a 3-year, $52 million deal. And look, they've got when they restructured Cam, they added a whole bunch of phantom years to the end. So Cam Jordan, his on-field contract ends in 2024. So the Saints theoretically could trade or cut Cam Jordan, and they'd save $2 million against the cap. But you want Cam Jordan on your team. It's one of your worst positions right now as far as depth. And then next year in 2024, his cap hit drops to $12.8 million, from 25 to 12.8, and then he's got 2 years of dead cap money as well. So, I guess you could. I don't think that's likely. They're stuck. They don't have tradable assets. They don't have players that are coveted by other teams at the value which their contract suggests that they're worth. So they're really stuck, man. They're just in a very, very bad spot. My goodness. Anyway, look, this is, Emil Miller said, dark days are ahead. I really don't want Carr because that further perpetuates the Saints' slow death by 1,000 cuts. I'd rather keep Dalton and get out of the cap hell. I would say that is a more, I think, appropriate strategy. You have to ask yourself, if you're the Saints, do you really believe you are Derek Carr away from being a title contender? And I think when I phrase it that way, I know my answer. I'm guessing you would probably agree with me. The answer is no. You're not Derek Carr away from being a title contender. This past year showed you that. You've got so many issues on this team, from head coach on down. And if you make the type of move they're suggesting for Derek Carr, giving up draft capital, taking on a big contract, you're only exacerbating the problems that you have to be a mediocre football team. Does he make you better than you are with Andy Dalton? Sure. But you're not a contender. The more prudent way to go about things is let these bad contracts expire. Really buckle down and hit in the draft and get a young quarterback. Spend the next 1, 2, 3 drafts, however many you need, to draft a quarterback that's going to work and be your franchise, that you can build around. That's the path forward for this team. Drew Brees, it took this franchise 40 years to land Drew Brees. 40 years to find that free agent acquisition. You can say it happened once, lightning can strike again. Boy, that's just... name another situation. Name another situation where you've had that happen, where the guy left one place in free agency and became a Hall of Famer somewhere else. Just, there's a reason, man. You find great players, they stay where they are. All right. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and 8th Agent Clinics of Louisiana. We got Otter Locks coming up here in a second. We're going to do Pluckers Trivia here as well. I want to remind you about the Aesthetic Medicine and 8th Agent Clinics of Louisiana. We are 6 days away, y'all. 6 days away from Valentine's Day, but all this month at the Aesthetic Medicine and 8th Agent Clinics of Louisiana. Great specials. $100 off lip filler. Gentlemen, a gift card to the Aesthetic Medicine and 8th Agent Clinics of Louisiana will be fantastic for her this Valentine's Day. Let her pick the treatment she may want to pamper herself. It's at the Aesthetic Medicine and 8th Agent Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, HRT. Tell you all the time. If you want to feel like your younger self, trouble sleeping at night, you wake up, you don't feel energized throughout the day, struggle with motivation to get into the gym. You do get into the gym. You don't really build muscle or burn fat. It's all part of aging. It happens to every single human at a different rate in all of us. So no matter what the number of your age is, it's about how you feel, man or woman. And the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, let's do a little Pluckers trivia, as is customary here on Wednesdays. Wednesday is trivia night over at Pluckers. So 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Get your team together. Test your knowledge. Win Pluckers gift cards. Remember, every team gets to spin the prize wheel. So even if you don't win a round, you get to spin the prize wheel to win something. If it's food from Pluckers, Amazon gift cards, other great prizes from retailers all over town, they can help you. So we fire away with a few questions here for Muse to see how he does. Muse, I think you're going 3 for 3 today.
Oh, God.
I think it's happening.
Here comes 0 for 3.
We got Super Bowl trivia.
That doesn't mean it. Should I do better than normal? Sure. That does not mean I'm going to get all of these. There's been 56 of these things. It's a lot to remember. But we'll see how we do.
All right. Don't screw it up. A Muse.
All righty.
Mean Joe Green helped what NFL team win 4 Super Bowls?
I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey! Was that a guess or did you know it?
No, I knew it.
Okay, good.
The commercial with him in the Steelers uniform and the...
What was the commercial for?
Oh, it was a soft drink. Soft drink. Coke or Dr. Pepper? Which one? One of the two, right?
I need an answer.
It's Coca-Cola.
It was Coca-Cola. Share a Coke and a smile.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Pepper's a Coke product.
Hey, Muse.
Yo.
If Anthony Mackie...
That's your boy. Y'all are real tight.
I know who that is now. Bro, you have no idea. You know me well enough.
I was about to say, I think I have a little bit of
you
an
know
idea
me well
what
enough.
you're talking about.
Like, I don't care who you are. Or you in a movie? There's... I'm an Enneagram 8, bro. The rage in my eyes. Anyway, all right. You've all heard the story. If Anthony Mackie is Sam Wilson, then who is Scott Lang?
What? You thought I was going 3 for 3?
Well, this seems kind of like something somebody young would know. I didn't even know
No.
Anthony Mackie was. Still almost fought him 3 years ago. Hey, don't cheat! Hey, shut up! Shut up!
I don't know. I don't even have a guess.
All right,
honestly.
what is he going to say? Go ahead. What you got, Beck?
Ant-Man?
Nope.
Oh.
Paul Rudd is what we're looking
that
for.
is Ant-Man. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
Well, again, listen to the question. If Anthony Mackie is Sam Wilson, who is Scott Lang?
Yeah.
Paul Rudd. I
Paul
don't know what that
Rudd.
means. And
I don't either.
And that has nothing to do with the Super Bowl. Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Name the channel. Super Bowl edition. Super Bowl 31, January 26, 1997. New England Patriots against Green Bay Packers. First time airing on this network.
What was the year? 97?
January 26, 1997, the New England Patriots against the Green Bay Packers. On what network?
CBS?
No! Fox! It was in New Orleans! Desmond Howard returned the kick! He won the MVP! The Packers! Brett Favre running down the field with his helmet in the air!
Actually, I was 3.
It was John Madden! It was in New Orleans!
And I was 3. Why did you ever think I was going to go 3 for 3 on that?
I just have way too much faith in you, Muse.
Yeah, way too much faith.
Maybe it's time you started having a little faith in yourself. Otter locks to wrap up the show. That's next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Give them a shout. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Love sharing great testimonials with you. How about this 5-star review? It said, the technician was very courteous and very thorough. He also made sure I knew what my options were for fixing the things that were wrong with my system. Darren is very good at what he does. Thank you very much to Darren. Another 5-star Google review from River City's 1 Hour Air. I get dozens and dozens of these because every single day they get more and more 5-star Google reviews because they treat their customers fantastic. They have expertly trained technicians at River City's 1 Hour Air. They invest in their employees with continuing education, so they're up with all the latest technologies, and they make sure you know all of your options. It's at River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on select new 2022 Ford F-150 trucks. $10,000 off plus 0% financing. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Saturday, February 25th, 7 p.m. The Bulls, Bands, and Barrels Tour at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet. Edge of your seat excitement with bull riding, barrel racing, ultimate bullfighting. With a live performance by Bailey Zimmerman. With Timothy Wayne, plus two-time PBR world champion Chris Shivers, and Brinson James, the entertainer. Tickets and information at bullsbandsandbarrels.com. Saturday, February 25th, Lamar Dixon Expo Center at 7 p.m. Presented by Jerry Lane Chevrolet, the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, a man yesterday who was probably better known as Margarita Manny. It's the Oddfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Terrible. The curse of Lizzo. She got me. She got me.
Hit the Lizzo. You gotta have the Lizzo ready.
She got me. All right, let me start off with a lock. Let me start off with a lock.
Okay.
For my boy Musso, okay?
All right.
Look, when you're talking to girls, it's thinking out loud. It's not talking to myself. Okay? No. Okay? Let's get that straight. All right, got that wheel up. We're out the gates 1-0. All right.
Damn, Otter.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm just trying to help a brother out.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
You know, getting the red box down the street and stuff, you know.
The red box? Does this exist?
All right, Michigan and Creighton. Michigan off to 11-point lead. Creighton off to a 1-point lead.
Okay.
We got those. I had -11 and -3. I'm not sure what you got.
I got -11.5 and -3.
All right. Unranked teams versus ranked teams. Favored over ranked teams. 20-10 this year. MFP, do the math. That's 67%, 66.6666, whatever you want. All right, one of them is West Virginia, -3 at home against Iowa State. So I had 3.5 and bought it to 3. I'm not sure what you got at DK. The other one is late tonight, Utah State favored by 2 against San Diego State.
West Virginia, I'm looking at 4.5, Otter.
God, the timing of this stuff. All right.
What do you think?
5 to 4.
All right. So West Virginia will lay the 4 with West Virginia, and hold our breath there. All right. West Virginia laying the 4.
Utah State toward the bottom of the menu. So
yeah, Utah State. We are looking at -2.5. So buy it to 2.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Penn State's back at home after losing to Nebraska, laying 4 against Wisconsin. This is my favorite bet of the night. And this is a tournament team. They're very good. They ran into a buzzsaw. Nebraska shot over 50% from the field, and they just kind of got out of it early, never could get back into it. They're at home against a Wisconsin team. It's the worst Wisconsin team that I can remember since they started, their run. 30 years or so? So Penn State -4 at home. I like a blowout there.
Okay.
And Villanova. Now, Justin Moore, who's a part of that Final Four, their last Final Four team, this will be his 4th game back. They're 0-3, Matt, but he came back against Providence. They lost a close game a couple of Sundays ago. The Marquette game, they were getting 6.5, 7. They lost by 9 at Marquette, and it was a tough beat. We had Marquette last week. A little bit fortunate to win that one. And then last game at Creighton, a red-hot Creighton team, they lose by 5. His minutes have gone up every game. His points have gone up every game, but they don't have anything to show for it. They play a weak DePaul team at home. Villanova -9.5. Don't buy the point there. Too many points.
I already did.
All right, and here we go. Here's your DraftKings your parlay, moneyline parlay.
All right.
Providence, Villanova, Mississippi State, and Alabama.
Providence, Nova, Mississippi State, and Alabama. All right, that's your money line parlay. Wow, full card tonight, Otter. Michigan.
Yes, indeed.
Michigan and Creighton have already gone off, so West Virginia -4, Utah State -2, Penn State -4, Villanova -9.5. Don't buy the half a point now, he says. Providence, Nova, Mississippi State, and Bama on a money line parlay. Let's get rich tonight, Otter.
We're rolling. Creighton on an 8-0 run. We're at Modesto Tacos Tequila Whiskey on Burbank, right next to. We're gonna kill the Lizzo curse after the show today too.
Yeah, great spot, man. Old Margarita Manny there is getting him another one tonight. That's what did you in last night.
Our buddy Miguel was with Superior Grill for a long time. He's over here at Modesto now, making it at home. And the server keeps, no, ma'am, I'm not talking to myself. I'm thinking out loud. Gotta help my man out. You know, he's going to Lee Michaels.
Oh, man.
You got to get him straight. Get him straight, Musso.
Oh, my God. Poor guy. For those that missed it earlier, Musso said he talks to himself all the time, and so Jimmy's clearly trying to help Musso be maybe a little bit more successful in
thinking out
1
loud.
minute remaining.
Thinking out loud. There we go.
All right, Otter.
man.
Have a fantastic show. Yep.
Andy Isco with his picks. Wes Reynolds, who gave us Justin Rose last week with his golf and his props. Randy McKay's top 15 Super Bowl props at 7 o'clock tonight. One of the most respected NFL handicappers in the country. So lots of Super Bowl prop picks, golf, and we'll be sweating a little basketball action here with us too.
Get your pen ready. 2 straight hours of picks following us here in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Thank you, Otter.
It's about damn time. Let's go.
In a minute, Lizzo. It was Lizzo, Muse. That's what that was. It was Lizzo.
I'm very aware.
I don't know that you were. All right, it's going to do it for us. Shout out to Pluckers. T-Bob and I are at Oliver Twist in 1 hour. We'll see you then. Muse, Paulie, have a great night. See you tomorrow 3.
AFR.
We're getting on down the road. Let me remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. Check out the Williamson Eye Center social media. I shared this with you the other day, but in case you missed it, I tell you all the time, just so you know that. I'm not fibbing you. Dr. Blake Williamson was down in Mexico at an ophthalmology a convention, and or workshop, and was presenting there to a national audience. This was this past weekend at the Caribbean Eye Meeting. He participated in lectures dedicated to the world's most advanced femtosecond laser platform, as well as microsurgery in glaucoma. Really high-level smart dude stuff, and that's Dr. Blake Williamson. But what you know is that when you go to the Williamson Eye Center, you're getting the best. And no matter your age or refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center can help you see 20/20 without contacts or glasses. So call 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.